today. We say welcome to the Baseball Night in America pregame show presented by Geico. Come on in for a night of baseball on Fox. We say hi. D-Train, Dontrell Willis is here. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. We got some highlights from around the game today. Why don't we catch you up and show you what's happening? And away we go, huh? What's the Braves? Well, they have the best record in the National League coming into today. And they're taking on the Nationals. And Dylan Cruz put a dent in that record. 2-0 Nats. The team goes to the 8th inning right now. Astros and Cubs. Astros go to Wrigley and win yesterday. And Christian Walker says, let's continue that trend. He had 2 of these, Dontrell.
Yeah, he's an excellent lineup protector for Yordan Alvarez. Turns around a fastball. That's what they need him for on the pull side.
Astros throw a shutout. Then it's the Blue Jays home for Pittsburgh. Paul Skeens gave up 5 runs his last start. Oh! Toronto got a couple of them today. George Springer here down the line against Skeens, the leadoff home run. Skeens gave up 4 runs today. Blue Jays have won 4 in a row. A little momentum for them. Told you the Cardinals and Reds played earlier, a doubleheader because of some rain. Jordan Walker has been one of the best stories this year.
Yeah, finally getting a chance to go out there and play his game. I love the bat-the-ball skills and taco power. Show me the money.
8-1 for Walker. Then it's Twins-Red Sox. Victor Caratini flies out. Wilyer Abreu's got a great arm. Throwing home. Trevor Larnach trying to come on in. Throw. Looks like it beats him, but he got around it.
Swim move.
Wow, that is sweet. Twins trying to wrap up a W there. Well, there's Miguel Rojas for the Dodgers, who lose in Milwaukee last night. Matter of fact, they've lost 9 straight regular season games to the Brewers. Let's hear from Freddie Freeman and the Dodgers, who's with our Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Kevin. Freddie, Roki Sasaki tonight, coming off his best start as a Dodger. It looks like he is progressing. Yeah. What do you see?
Yeah, definitely. I think once he added the harder splitter, gave it another wrinkle to his repertoire. Last time was very, very impressive. The no walks was huge. If you can pound the zone with the stuff he has, keep your defense involved, that's usually what's going to happen is a longer start, and hopefully he can continue that today.
Dodgers have won back-to-back World Series. Yeah. The wide expectation is you're going to be back in the playoffs. How does this team stay motivated through the middle months of the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, we get asked that question a lot, but there's one goal every single year, and it's to win a World Series championship. And every game in May, June, July matter. We saw it last year. We missed out having home field advantage in the World Series by 1 game. So every game means something, and we don't take that lightly.
Freddie, thanks a lot.
Thanks,
Kevin, back to you.
All right, Ken, Freddie, appreciate it. So 2 of the top 3 teams in the league going at it here, and you see their ranks. It tells a story, although how they tell the story is completely different for the Brewers, right? You see where they are and why they're so good. But the Brew Crew is so interesting because they're so good scoring runs, and they have the fewest home runs in the majors. They do it a different way. And in your eyes, are they the biggest threat to the Dodgers in the National League?
I believe so. Them and the Braves. Now, styles make fights, and I love the Milwaukee Brewers style. Pat Murphy gives the green light to everybody. He wants them to be aggressive. He forces the opposition to play clean baseball and make play after play. They get on base. They're second all in baseball behind the Dodgers in on-base percentage and 3rd in stolen base. I love that style of baseball. Now, they have to stay healthy when they go in the postseason, especially with Christian Yelich. He is their threat. With him and Contreras has been awesome, lead their team in average and RBIs. He has to continue to stay in that lineup because he's that power threat to that left side. If he stays healthy with those young guys at the top of that rotation, Harrison and company, watch out.
The Brewers playing great baseball right now. I said, obviously they've beaten the Dodgers 9 straight regular season games. Of course, LA got them when it counted. They swept them in the postseason. How about the Dodgers now? They have some injuries that they're dealing with. They've been trying to get the most out of Roki Sasaki. We finally saw it last time against the Angels. That was his best start.
I thought I saw a mound presence from him and confidence to be able to compete within the strike zone, being able to trust that fastball, especially against the left-handed power threats. Also throwing that 2 split fingers. He has a short one and he has the big one that drops out of the zone. He has one that he also can land in the strike zone. Also, he has a nasty slider that he's starting to trust and throw harder in middle of the counts. But as long as he keeps that big fly out of his back pocket and trusts that talented and athletic defense that the Dodgers have, I think he'll be just fine. But he's pitching with a lot of confidence, especially last start.
This should be fun. Dodgers Brew Crew in Milwaukee. Most of the country will see that one on Baseball Night in America. We got some other action, too. Jordan Walker, he and his 14 home runs with the surprising Cardinals looking to sweep a double dip today from the Reds. So we'll have that to some of the country, and then you get to see Sasaki, who Dontrell just talked about, coming off his best start. Can he build on that? Dodgers losing against the Brewers last night. We'll see how Game 2 goes. Baseball night in America. Enjoy it, everyone.
From Milwaukee, Wisconsin, an American Family Field, the home of Milwaukee Brewers. We've got baseball night in America. The defending champion Dodgers taking on the Brewers, and Shohei Ohtani trying to keep things rolling against Christian Yelich and the first place Brew Crew. Couple first place teams facing off here in a rematch of the top team, or the rematch of the National League Championship Series last year. We welcome inside Joe Davis, Adam Wainwright, and A.J. Pierzynski. Let's start off with the Brewers. And it seems like different years, same story. Adam, we're saying, I don't know about the Brewers coming into the year. We should have learned by now. It doesn't matter what we think. They're probably going to be at the top.
Well, they pitch well, but how does a team that is last in home runs in all of baseball, how do they go on winning streaks like this? How do they keep winning divisions? They don't strike out. They get on base. When they do get on base, they steal bases. They don't make mistakes in the field. And they go out there every day, and it's a different hero. But leading the charge, a guy named Bryce Terang, a superstar in the making. He is an all-around player. Great offense and defense from Bryce, and he's leading the way.
Yeah, and he and the Brewers took the first game of this series 5-1 last night. Get ready for Game 2. Of course, you win back-to-back championships. The bar is set higher. You can say the same for the Dodgers star player and Shohei Ohtani. So when he looked human for a few weeks, we're all like, what's going on? But he's no longer looking human again.
Well, it's because he's pitching so well that they said, man, Shohei, you're getting worn out. You're being fatigued. So what does Dave Roberts do? He gives them back-to-back days off. That seems to be a theme with these Dodgers, right? Back-to-back. And since those back-to-back days off, you see the last 7 games, he's become the real Shohei Ohtani that we've witnessed for the last few years, where he's been the MVP as basically just a hitter. 462, the extra base hits, drove in the only run last night for the Dodgers. He's back, and that is scary for this lineup.
Doing it with the bat, and yeah, he's got the #1 ERA in baseball, to your point, AJ, down below 1, coming off 5 scoreless innings his last time out. It's the Dodgers and the Brewers from Milwaukee here on Baseball Night in America in a championship series rematch. The middle game of this 3-game series coming up on Fox. Ready to rock in Milwaukee with the roof closed here at American Family Field. It's been pretty much every day so far this season as Ohtani gets ready to lead things off for Dave Roberts' Dodgers. And the rest of the lineup will look like this with Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman to follow. Andy Pages up into the cleanup spot today in center field with Will Smith catching. Kyle Tucker, the first-year Dodger in right field, hitting 6th. Teoscar Hernandez, Miguel Rojas, and Santiago Espinal gets the start at Muncie's place. After Muncie was hit by the pitch last night, it's going to be Espinal the next couple of days here, and they face off with Robert Gasser, 26 years old, who started the season in AAA, made his first start last week, 3 runs over 4 innings, and lacked command in that game. Walked 2, hit 3.
Yeah, we're going to see a nasty side-winded sweeper right here. He's got a low approach angle, so he's going to work that sinker and sweeper back-to-back, and then this guy's at the top every now and then with his 4-seam.
Off we go with ball 1 inside on Ohtani. Ohtani's second in the National League in on-base percentage, #1 in the National League in ERA from the mound, and knocked in the Dodgers' lone run yesterday. You know, AJ, this Dodger offense, you look at the numbers overall, they're right up where you would expect that they would be, but it's been pretty up and down, and for a lot of the season, it's been the bottom of the order, not the big names at the top.
It has, but you just mentioned what Ohtani's doing at the plate with the on-base percentage. He's doing fine. He just hasn't wowed us. He hasn't had the wow factor, remember? Because everyone wants the 50-50, but with him pitching, the numbers have to fall a little bit because they don't want him to steal, and you get a little fatigued, as much as I don't want to say that.
Big rip and a miss, 2-2.
This is that low approach angle I'm talking about. He's going to be able to throw that at the top of the zone. It's going to stay above the barrel when he does that, but he works the sinker down. When he locates that down and he works his 4-seam up, he can be really tough.
Here he comes with the 2-2, and it's very high on Ohtani.
Not that high, though.
Not that high. No, and what we saw last game out of him is he throws that big sweeper. He's got to start it at the left-hander's hip to make it in the strike zone. So the Dodgers know that coming in here. Shohei's only going to swing if he starts at his hip.
On this payoff, he takes strike 3.
And that's the one. That's the one right there that he will occasionally pull that too much, but that one he located perfectly.
Shohei, for me, went auto take right there. He's not going to throw me a strike. He just threw it at my neck. I'm auto taking. I'm going to take my walk. Gasser beat him with the slider.
And so Gasser starts the game with a strikeout. Comes home to Mookie Betts with a ball. Betts has missed a lot of this season with an oblique injury. He's played just 17 games. The number's not great. Talking with Dave Roberts about it before the game, he said ignore the numbers. Feels like his swing and his head in really good spots.
I asked him today, dude, send me your workout program. You guys put on 10, 15 pounds of muscle, it looks like.
Yeah, the first step of the workout program was to do nothing for a month while he waited for the oblique to heal, and then doubled his protein shake intake. Stepped on the scale the other day. He was 182.3, and he said he had never seen that number before. Said, I don't know if it actually helps me hit the ball farther, but I kind of like how it feels. So he's doing his best to maintain that weight. Now he's back to burning a couple thousand calories a day, doing all the baseball activity.
AJ, how long do you have to go before you lose that weight if it doesn't work?
As a hitter, you go pretty quickly. You try to lose it quickly. Much easier to put it on, especially at our age, Wayno, than it is to lose it at Mookie's age.
And him some of those brookies we had earlier that ought to do the trick. The Dodgers come in having won 7 of their last 9, even with the loss yesterday. Brewers the hottest team in the National League, though. Winners of 4 in a row. 17 of their last 22, and in a Central that has just been a mosh pit this year. They stand alone in first. Count is full on Betts.
So these are the pitches right here on the even counts. He's got to win more of those against the Dodgers today. And last game, he was working this sweeper too far inside of the righties. He hit 3 batters.
Betts pokes this one down the line. It'll fade foul. Well, the win for the Brewers last night, their 9th consecutive against the Dodgers during the regular season. But of course, Dave Roberts' team with the last laugh in the championship series sweep last year. 2 of the most well-respected managers in baseball here. Dave Roberts for the Dodgers, Pat Murphy for the Brewers. Here's a weak little pop into right. Routine for Sal Frelick, and 2 up and 2 down for Robert Gasser. But now Freddie Freeman. .36-year-old in his 17th year, still at the top of his game, AJ.
One of the best teammates I ever played with. I was fortunate to catch Freddie with the Braves 2 years. He could always hit. He's a good guy in the clubhouse. I'm sure the Dodgers love him. Gasser didn't love him trying to throw at him right there with a slider, but just a good guy, good human. He's going to go to the Hall of Fame one day, and I'm proud to say that I get to play with him for a couple years. This dude, he's a natural-born hitter.
On his way to 3,000 if he can finish his career strong. He's got 2 seasons remaining, counting this one, on his current contract. He has talked about wanting to add 2 after that, which would take him to 20 seasons and give him a really good chance to reach 3,000. On this 2-1 from Gasser, fouls it into the glove, 2-2.
It's refreshing, though, depending on how you look at baseball. He says 300 still matters to him. Most guys don't say that. They say OBP, OPS, slug. But for him, he says, I didn't hit 300. It was a bad year. Different mindset.
299 for his career, and you know that irks the heck out of him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a big difference in 299 and 300. He was one of those guys that somebody said, if somebody hit 400 again, who would it be? I always said, like, that would probably be Freddie. As hard as that is today, it's probably possible.
He takes the walk right here. I would think, Adam, and you face him throughout your career, but got to be frustrating facing a guy like that who just doesn't seem like has many holes that you can go to.
Well, and he doesn't have many counts where you can just steal a strike on him. He told me, you know, sometimes you can ask hitters and they'll tell you what they're thinking, which is always really nice to know as a pitcher, but he just wanted to hit any strike. It didn't matter what pitch it was, what the count was. He wanted to hit any strike. And, you know, you can't just guide one in there against him. You always got to bring your nasty 0-2 stuff. You got to bring everything that you throw in the zone has to look like a ball out of your hand, ball to strike, and everything you throw out of the zone needs to look like a strike and go to ball, or you're not getting him out.
We talk about the biggest stars for the Dodgers not necessarily clicking on all cylinders to this point of the year. Andy Pages right here, somebody who has broken out. Pops this one into foul ground at first. Vaughn has room to finish off this first inning, and it's a scoreless first for Gasser.
Retreat, the new breakfast collection. Here for any time of day, but not for long.
Here come the Brewers. The Jackson Churios set to lead things off for Pat Murphy. Then Bryce Terang and Andrew Vaughn. Christian Yelich, the veteran-most Brewer, bats cleanup. Gary Sanchez does the catching out of the 5 spot with Jake Bauers carrying in the 12-game hitting streak. Frelick, Ortiz, and David Hamilton to wrap things up against Roki Sasaki, whose numbers overall aren't pretty, but he's been much better lately, and he's coming off at him what was the best start of his young career.
Yeah, and it's been a tale of two cities for him in April and May. May's looked a lot better, but last start out, 7 innings, no walks. That was the key to me, and he had his all-time best 8 strikeouts in the game. We're going to see some high-octane fastballs, an improved slider, and 2 different versions of a split and a fork.
Churio leads off, and his first pitch is a ball inside, 1-0. Churio, one of the most talented young players in baseball, is in his 3rd season, and he's only 22. And a 1-0 from Sasaki. Drives a liner to center field. Pages will turn and watch it sail over his head. Bounces over the top of that yellow line, and so a leadoff double for Churio.
That swing right there, Waino, is a key for the Brewers. If he throws you an off-speed pitch, fine, but you can't miss the heater. You cannot miss Sasaki's because he only throws a 4-seamer. So if you can get him down in the zone and hit it, it could be a long night or a quick night for Sasaki, depending on which side of the ledger you're on. But that's the key for me when you watch him pitch. If he throws you a fastball, you cannot miss it.
And Churio didn't, and the Brewers trying to do what they did last night to Justin Robleski, and that is blitz him before he even knew what happened. Milwaukee got 4 runs in the first inning. 4 of the first 5 hitters came into score in that 5-1 Brewers win. And this, AJ, is what they can do to you. Bat to ball, and before you blink, it can be all kinds of pressure.
Bat to ball, productive out, steal bases, take the extra base. It's a different style. It's starting to see it a little bit more. Even Dave Roberts acknowledged it. It's a little bit of a different game than what most teams play, which is waiting for the 3-run homer. They just constant pressure.
This is the guy you were talking about right off at the top, and Bryce Terang, who more and more people across baseball are starting to hold in the highest regard, one of the top players in the league.
Well, during the WBC this year, I visited Mark DeRosa. I said, tell me about your team. Who's surprising you right now? Who's kind of opening your eyes? He said, man, I tell you, this is a team full of stars. This may be one of the greatest rosters of all time ever assembled. He said, the guy that's opened everybody's eyes, not just mine, more than anyone, is Bryce Terang. So he's an absolute gamer.
Pokes one down the line. It's a fair ball, and it's a Milwaukee lead in the blink of an eye. Back-to-back doubles to start it. Terang drives in Churio. 1-0, just like that.
Exactly what we just talked about. Put the ball in play, productive at-bats, productive outs. This was not an out. This was one of the better fork ball splitters that Sasaki can throw. And Terang doesn't try to do too much. He just says, okay, I'll take my little flip double down the left field line. Dave Roberts, again, we talked about it. That's good hitting. That's good hitting, knowing what you're probably going to get and just putting the bat on the ball, and it leads to a run.
And Terang, what he's done all year, if it's in, he's pulling it. If it's away, he's taking it the other way, and pitchers hate that.
Andrew Vaughn fouls back the first one. Vaughn 2 for 4 yesterday with a double. Broke his hand on opening day, missed more than a month, but has come back and looked like he didn't take any time off. 333 in his 13 games. White Sox cast off pretty much. Went from 3rd overall pick to demoted to AAA midway through his 5th season with the White Sox, and Brewers took him on basically as a way to get rid of Aaron Savali, who didn't want to pitch out of the bullpen. They said, sure, we'll take Vaughn, who has tapped into what made him such a big time prospect. Classic change of scenery case for him here.
Well, the pressure was gone too. He was 3rd overall pick for the White Sox. Probably thought he had to be a big home run hitter. He's not a huge guy. He can hit you 20 per year, but he doesn't need to go up there and do that on this Brewers team. Have a good at bat, put the bat on the ball.
Although, how about the way that he arrived? Gets traded over here, comes to Milwaukee not just for his first game with the Brewers, but his first game in the majors in 2 months, because he had been in AAA with the White Sox. Gets to the park at 11 a.m. for a 1 p.m. game, and Murphy says, you're starting. He says, excuse me, what? Yeah, you're starting. A guy named Yamamoto's pitching. Oh, okay, Skip. And he goes down, hits a 3-run home run in his first at bat. Sasaki throws a fastball past Freddie Freeman, and it's 2-0 Milwaukee.
Put the ball in play. It's amazing when you put the ball in play. This ball's not hit very hard, doesn't go very far. Tough play for Sasaki. He does everything right except for the throws a little bit off because he has to rush. Really tough play. As we know, Wayno, pitchers are not the greatest athletes in the world.
That's not true at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
They are. As you're saying, they are.
That
the
was not
greatest
an
athletes in
athletic
the
play
world.
there, but
1-0 on Christian Yelich.
AJ pitched too in Little League. Just wasn't good enough to keep doing that.
Easy, boys. First inning. Yeah. Pace yourselves. AJ, to your point about putting the pressure on, one of the things that this leads to, last year there were more errors committed against the Brewers, defenses against the Brewers, than any other team in baseball.
They run hard. The ball's in play. They have a bunch of fast guys that are always going. Every player in the big leagues has a clock, especially on the infield. And when that clock gets sped up, that leads to errors. But they also know when they do their scouting report, the Brewers are they're gonna bust it down the line. They're fast. You gotta hurry. You gotta hurry.
Watch this angle right here. You can see Freddie just doesn't have a chance. He does everything perfect. AJ said that, oh, he just right away it just sailed right off his hands. You have to stay low and you have to drive through that throw. Almost you have to kind of aim. You can't lean towards the runner there.
Bouncing ball left side. Espinal cuts it off. Shovels to Rojas. And finally, Sasaki and the Dodgers get the first out. One out, and Gary Sanchez back with the Brewers.
Not a lot of homers, but a lot of runs for this team. 32 on the board tonight on great at bat by Churio, great at bat by Terang, ball in play by Vaughn. It's 2-0. Pressure's still there.
They have the top 5 in runs scored, even though they're second worst in slug. Sanchez guy brings him a little bit of that slug.
Different way to play. There's different ways to play this game. Not everyone has to be a 30 homer guy.
Ball. That's the pitch I wanted to use right there. A little slider is late breaking. He controls it in the strike zone well. Works off his fastball, and when he pitches well, he uses his four seam at the bottom. I really think he should learn a sinker or a one seam or something. That's the trouble. That's the problem pitch right there. When we make those arm side up pitches, it's a hard. Just there's not much love up there. You know, you just can't. Those backup forks. He doesn't make nearly as many mistakes as the split as the slider as he does with his fork.
And AJ, if I'm a hitter, That pitch is so obvious that it's that pitch, right? That looks so different than his other pitches.
But that's why he went to the different one. He went to the fork, to the split. He throws the split harder with the fingers closer together compared to the fork. The fork ball is almost a knuckleball. I remember Jose Contreras, who I caught for years with the White Sox. His fingers were so split. He came out. He didn't know which way it was going. I didn't know which way it was going. It was like a knuckleball. And if you look at the RPMs, it is a knuckleball.
Two different versions of it here, Wayne.
Here's the splitter. This is a new pitch for him. It's much harder. It looks like it's fastball. Look at the drop off the table right there. It looks exactly like it's here. And the fork ball comes out, as AJ said, it comes out on a higher plane. Knuckling. Now that was a good one. Now we just don't see many of them executed that way.
We also don't see many guys swing at it, to your point, Joe, because as soon as they see it, he doesn't throw it for a strike, so they just shut down. If he could just land that every once in a while, it opens up so many other options for him. But if I'm hitting against him, I don't want to swing at that pitch. I'm looking for a four-seam fastball up in the zone I can do damage.
Jake Bauers, the latest Brewer who you haven't heard a ton of, that has exploded on a 22-game on-base streak, a 12-game hitting streak, and a .210 hitter for his career. Checks in at 289 and above 340 during this hitting streak. So runners at first and second, just one gone still.
Ball.
And ahead 2-0. A challenge here, though, coming from the Dodger catcher Will Smith. ABS powered by T-Mobile. And it stays the ball. 6 straight misses from Sasaki. The Dodger fans were crossing their fingers that they could believe what they saw last weekend against the worst team in baseball in the Angels, where Sasaki went those 7 innings, knowing that this was going to be a different kind of challenge. And so far, the Brewers have sent Sasaki a step back.
Behind in the count, only 1 of 6 first pitch strikes. He's already got 23 pitches with 1 out in the first, 4 balls and strikes. This is the bad Sasaki so far in this first inning.
Yelich at second, Sanchez at first. Sasaki to Bauers with a 3-1 and a swing and a miss on that fastball.
That's a good time to take a shot right there, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's the one I want to hit.
Take a rip, fastball coming into you.
But now what is it really? Does he challenge him?
He's probably going to throw a split.
So take, as much as it's weird to say, I'm looking heater, and if he does anything else, he does it for a strike, tip my cap, walk back to the dugout.
Was the fastball, and he fouled it back.
But he was late. See how he was late on that one? After 3-1, he was ready on time. 3-2, he was late, because in the back of a hitter's mind, I don't want to look stupid on the split. I don't want to look dumb. I don't want to look foolish. Look how fooled I got. So you're a little bit more protective.
Two runs already in from Milwaukee. Another payoff. And it was a slider. Grounded foul.
That's the pitch, I think, Wayne, what you just said. If he could just land that every once in a while, that changes everything too, because at least it's something off speed.
Yeah, you see he's way out front, one hand in it, pulled in the dugout. He works his 4-seam down. Slider, the split worked right off of that so well. This at bat, he's throwing some quality pitches. This is looking better. This is like he was in Anaheim.
Yeah, but he was 3-0. He's 3-0. This is still what, the 7th pitch of this at bat?
The last 2 have been good.
This is the 9th pitch. Yeah, the last 2 have been great.
What have you done for me lately? 9th pitch coming here. Bauers swings and misses. Went to another slider to finish him.
I really like this pitch. See his slider comes out that same. He just worked that 4-seam away right there. Where he was late on foul. He worked it on the same lane right there, and it just dives right before it gets to the plate. That's just a good quality executed pitch right there, 3-2 especially. But you could throw that pitch right there in any count.
2 outs and Sal Frelick. And this winter, that was the pitch that the discussion centered around. What would Sasaki's third pitch be? Because he rode through the postseason as the closer for the Dodgers with a fastball and what is now known as the forkball. That was it. What was that third pitch going to be? And he's shown up with that breaking pitch, that slider. It's been pretty effective for him. Ahead of Frelick, 0-2. Sal Frelick, one of the guys that I think best embodies what the Brewers have become about offensively. Just scrappy, gritty, and don't forget, talented, really good. I think sometimes we get so carried away with the scrappy nature of them, we forget that these guys are just really good players.
Yeah. He can go down and get a ball with the best of them right here. Very good low ball hitter, especially in the strike zone. Like knee high, that's the pitch he drives.
I love what Pat Murphy called this guy, baseball players. We have a bunch of baseball players. Isn't that what this game's about, playing baseball?
I've never heard anything more profound in my life, AJ.
I mean, that's Murph.
But it's
Murph
the highest of compliment in baseball speak. 97 wins last year for Milwaukee. That's not that long ago, but I think still people hear that and say, wait a minute, what? The Brewers had more wins than anybody in baseball last year. Franchise record. 4th division title in 5 years. This is nothing new.
Don't forget. Think about the Brewers. They lose Willie Adames. They trade Josh Hader. They lose Devin Williams. They trade Corbin Burns. You name it. Freddie Peralta. And they just keep on trucking. It is amazing what this organization has been able to do.
Lose Craig Counsell. Pat Murphy's right there to take over. Frelick to short. Mookie Betts mistimed his jump. Yelich in to score. Throw to third. Picked by Espinal. Tags him out. It ends the inning, but the run does cross. It's a 3-run first inning, and in 2 games in this series, the Brew Crew is 7.
It's better pizza, Papa John's.
Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, a grand slam for your budget. And it was on this date in this park with these teams that Sean Green had his record-setting performance. Came into the series having not homered in a month. And then it clicked for him. And on this date in 2002, he hit 4 home runs, set a major league record with 19 total bases and a 6-for-6 performance.
They say, how'd you do this month? I did pretty good. I hit 5 home runs that month. You know, totally just changed the whole month perspective.
Robert Gasser finds himself pitching with a 3-0 lead as the Dodgers come to bat here in the second. With Will Smith to lead things off. Smith, an all-star year in and year out. Hero in the World Series last year. Yet to have it click in this year, though. His OPS last year was 900. Down below 670 this year. Lifts this ball in the air to left field. Jake Bowers put it away for the first out. 3rd out of that first inning. Gary Sanchez going out at 3rd.
Not great base running here by Gary. You've got to make this standing up without a throw. Now listen, this is a great play by Pollux, great hustle play, and an unbelievable pick by Espinal at 3rd. But you cannot make that. You have 35 pitches already on Sasaki. You got a chance to have another back, get him to 40, possibly get him out of the game. I know he was hustling. I know he was trying to get the extra base, but you cannot. Cardinal rule, don't make the 3rd out of 3rd.
Kyle Tucker taken upstairs. Tucker in his first season with the Dodgers had some decent stretches, but historic contract expectations come with that. He's still trying to fully tap into. Takes strike 1-1.
First inning, Gasser put that cutter to work. 6 for 8 strikes. The rest of them was just, he was like 5 for 14, but this inning he's already gone back to that cutter 3 times. You can tell he knows those Dodger hitters are going to be aggressive in the zone, so he wants to throw something that looks like a fastball but gets to the end of the barrel.
Kicks and deals a 2-1. Tucker pulls a line drive over Vaughn and down the right field line. Extra bases for Kyle Tucker. He's going to keep going on his way to third. Range relay is high. Backed up by Gasser. It's as if he threw it right to him. But Kyle Tucker's got himself a 1-out triple.
That's a triple, bro. It looked like he must have rattled around in the corner pretty good, because I thought that was a double. By the time Freely got over there, though, it just stuck. He had to go get it. Good base running by Kyle Tucker.
To get his first triple as a Dodger.
Kyle runs well, too.
He didn't want to go, though. As a former hitter, you're like, I got to go to third here.
Double's good. Double's good enough right now. All right. Not anymore. Strike on Tasker Hernandez.
It's almost like when you know you have to go to third, in your mind you're like, oh, I have to go to third here. I can't just shut it down.
You think every hitter thinks that way, or is that just you as a catcher?
Not the really fast guys. They wanted triples.
Meanwhile, Gosser just provided every pitching coach in Big League Baseball with the video they needed to show their guys how to back up bases and how important it is. 29 teams will be showing that exact video of him backing up the base and saving another run right there. They'll been in the stands.
Look at that clip from a Tom Amansky teaching tape from back in the 90s. 1 and 2 on Hernandez.
Yep. Even when it stinks, you got to get there. You still got a job to do. The only place you can't be is still on the mound. Look at that. Dead center. Yeah, that's right. Backed it up. Little things.
Did he go? He did. And a big strikeout for Gasser with a man at third and 1 away. So 2 gone, and we go down to the field. Here's Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. Robert Gasser was part of the Josh Hader trade a few years back. He was, at the time, with the Class A Fort Wayne Tin Caps, playing golf that day with his manager, Brian Esposito, an athletic trainer, and one of his teammates. The first thing they heard was that the Padres had acquired Josh Hader. Then Gasser got a call from a friend saying, hey, congratulations, you're in the deal. But he still didn't know that officially. And then finally, Esposito, the manager, got a call. He turned to Gasser and said, it's you. They were on about the 16th hole, and Gasser said he was a wreck the rest of the way, shot about 100.
Good strike 1 on Miguel Rojas. Yeah, now fly ball to center field. It carries decently well, but Churio's got it spotted, and Gasser pitches around the triple.
Made, always available every single day.
Hiroki Sasaki, who's coming off 7 full innings, giving up just 1 run against the Angels in his last start, gives up 3 in the first inning. And on to the bottom of the second we go. Joey Ortiz leads off. Sasaki's first pitch to the Brewers shortstop is down and away. Ball 1. Sasaki unhappy with his landing right there. As Ortiz leads off, really good defensive shortstop. Hitting just 194 though. Chopper to third and Espinal. That's a fair ball and not an easy play, but he makes it. Santiago Espinal, just his 9th start of the year. After months he got hit by the pitch last night. Smooth over there though.
Best part of this, the way he threw it. He knew he couldn't get it there in the air. That Freddie Freeman, he's got gold over there. Pick it. Look, long hop. Perfect right to Freddie. That was a nice play by Espinal. Set your feet, throw it low, gives him a chance. You miss high, no chance.
1 out, second inning. Now the 9-hitter David Hamilton drives the first pitch he sees in the air to left field. Sends Hernandez back onto the edge of the track to put it away. A couple quick outs here for Sasaki as he tries to get back on track after that long first inning. And if he needs company in that misery, he can talk to last night's starting pitcher and Justin Wroblewski, who had to throw 38 pitches. He could also find a blueprint there for how to proceed because Wroblewski was still able to get through 5 after that.
Yeah, those first 2 outs are huge for him right here. He needs to stay locked in and make a good executed pitch here. He can get right back on track with his pitch count.
Top of the order, and Churio started things with a double. He attacks the first one, fouls it off.
Not much different than the fastball he drove to center earlier. He was thinking there's no way he's looking for that again. Jackson Churio, a very good fastball hitter, especially when it's out away from him. He loves to get extended.
Fly ball center field. Pages racing back onto the track, off the top of the wall. He just missed a home run and settles for his second double in as many innings. In those hands extended.
Ooh, little slider, doesn't do much. Full extension, hits his ball off the yellow line, inch from being a home run. What a swing. When he stays in the zone, he is as good as it gets.
That's just what the Brewers are trying to get him to do more consistently. His terrain comes up here with 2 out. But it's like, how do you thread that needle of getting him to be more disciplined without taking from him what makes him him?
That's why the greats can do it. There's guys that are super aggressive and there's guys that are overly patient. The greats can do both. That's what made Barry Bonds so good. That's what made Miguel Cabrera so good. Albert Pujols. All these guys that have these great careers with power and the batting average, they can do both.
If you had to pick, though, would you rather a Pete Crow Armstrong, a Jackson Churio, would you rather those guys stay aggressive?
Yes.
I think so too, right?
I mean, you're trying to reel it in a little bit, but you want them to be aggressive. You have to have them be themselves. And by the way, that ball hit the yellow line. I found out something last night. My son was playing in the game. The ball hit the yellow line in this college tournament. They called it a home run. They said the home run was on the yellow line. Didn't have to go over the fence. Ball. I don't know, Joe. Don't look at me like that.
They made it up.
And there was no barrier behind it. It hit the yellow line, bounced back in, home run.
I don't think that's the right call.
Well, they reviewed it for about 17 minutes.
Maybe that's a house rule.
I don't know.
Maybe it's a college rule.
Maybe.
Full count on terrain. Doubled his first time. So the top 2 in the order here, 3 for 3.
It was at the Phillies spring training complex, so you think it would be big league rules.
I don't know what to tell you, man, other than that's wrong. Yeah. Terrain takes the walk. Second one that Sasaki's issued. MLB Plus is new this year. You can stream MLB Network 24/7 in the U.S. and select out-of-market games every week and get live radio broadcasts of every game, game day 3D, big inning, and minor league action. Go to MLB.com/MLB Plus to subscribe today.
This is a big at-bat for me in this game. Remember you said he had a quick 2 outs, and now all of a sudden Andrew Vaughn does something here. This game could get out of reach like the one did last night. And if he gets a hit or has a long at-bat, his pitch count is still elevated.
Vaughn reached on an error his first time. Takes ball 1.
It's interesting. I'm a little surprised they're not attacking Vaughn with more sliders. He's got a real weakness for breaking balls. Surely they know that coming into the game. You would think they'd get into big spots like this and just flood it.
It's a fastball. It's driven in the air to right field, but a bit off the end of the bat. And Kyle Tucker will put it away. Sasaki's able to get out of it unscathed. Sleeper pick sponsored by Mattress Firm. And AJ, I'll let you take this one.
What do you want me to say? By the way, they're a playoff team right now, the White Sox. They did lose today, but they're playing good. Listen, here's the thing. Do I think the White Sox are going to win the World Series? No. But at least they're fun to watch, Joe. They score some runs. They hit some homers. They got some young Miguel Vargas, ex-Dodger, figured it out. Murakami, Colson Montgomery. They have some pieces, and after coming off 3 straight 100-loss seasons, White Sox fans need something positive. And this year, and by the way, if you haven't seen Davis Martin pitch, check him out. He's pretty good.
After AJ says, what do you want me to say? He gives us the full rundown.
What do you want to say? I'll say all of it.
Right. I'm not saying I watch every game, but I probably kind of maybe watch. 99% of them.
Santiago Espinal leading off this third for the Dodgers, hitting ninth today. And his ninth start for the team. Former Blue Jay, former Red. Ohtani and Betts to follow. You know, Milwaukee, one of the youngest rotations in baseball. We talk about they trade Corbin Burns, they trade Freddie Peralta, and they just keep finding guys to plug in there and continue to thrive. We've got Gasser off to a good start today. Logan Henderson yesterday, 24 years old, threw 5 scoreless innings. You know about the Miz, 24-inning scoreless streak for him. And how about Kyle Harrison, who they got from the Red Sox this offseason, 5-1 with a 1.77.
Yeah, Kyle's been incredible. But if you talk to anybody who knows Major League Baseball, they will tell you the Brewers are a top 2 pitching development system.
Down the line to right, long way to go for Sal Frelick. He's there. What is it?
There's a lot of debate there between, like, Cleveland, incredible, Brewers, incredible, but everyone says those 2 teams, they just do a great job of developing their pitchers. They bring these guys up, they're prepared, they're ready, they know how to get the most out of their deliveries. They're teaching those guys. They've got a system, and a lot of organizations out there are trying to hire away Cleveland Guardian coaches and front office and Brewers.
Dodgers to get their second look at Gasser. Strike 1 on Ohtani. First time he faced him, he struck him out through 6 pitches, 5 different pitches out of those 6. Has him off balance and a little pop up. Right side terrain. 2 out.
He may not see Ohtani again, but he struck him out with that front hip sweeper the first time. He threw him back-to-back to start the at-bat there. The next at-bat, if he does face him again, he's got to be very, very careful, this guy, with that pitch.
Gets away with it right there, though. And he's gone 2 up and 2 down in the third. He faces Betts with the bases empty. Strike on Betts. Dodger offense overall really good. One thing they've not done well, though, is as a team hit left-handed pitching. They've got a whole roster full of guys that have throughout their career. Down 3-0. 2 gone in the third against the Southpaw today. Strike 2.
I wish I could have met with him yesterday or a couple days ago to see his changeup grip. It's only 1 or 2 miles an hour off his heater. Sometimes it's the same speed as the heater, and it reads a changeup. And I think I've seen in the videos, I tried to slow him down as much as possible. It does look like a changeup grip. I don't know how that's possible.
Fly ball the other way. Frelick is back. He's got plenty of room. And that does it for the Dodgers in the top of the third. Jacob Mizorowski is going to join us when we come back.
Is your mattress giving you aches and pains?
I'm just so excited I could choke you. Okay, no, don't. All right.
The Breadwinner. Rated PG.
And he has kept on growing and rolling this season. Jacob Mizorowski, one of the top pitchers in baseball already. And he's with us as Roki Sasaki delivers a strike to Christian Yelich. And we were joking with you during the break. We don't know, Jacob, Miz, the Miz. What is the formal way to say hey to you these days?
Yeah, if you could just go with the Miz.
The Miz.
Or Miz, whatever, yeah, one of those 2.
How much fun are you guys having down there? Brewers on this 4-game winning streak, 17 of your last 22.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, this clubhouse is bumping every night, so it's always fun whenever, you know, lights get turned down and turn on crazy music. It's fun.
Miz, do you guys have T-shirts that say the Miz? The Schwager? I don't know what he looks like, so I'm just going to call him by his wrong name. But does he make T-shirts for you guys? Do you have one that says the Miz?
Last year we had 2 giveaways of the Miz shirts, so yeah, they're out there. We don't have any, no.
Need one.
The Miz.
I need one.
I don't know how you call someone The Miz. Hey, The Miz, you want to go to dinner? Like, how does that work? So I do have a question, Jacob. I'll be the one that calls you Jacob.
We just showed a graphic that said only his mom calls him Jacob, and now you call him that.
Yeah,
Now it's just down on strikes.
I'll feel special that way. So last season, you burst onto the scene, made the All-Star team. Nobody had ever seen stuff that you were doing, but it seemed like you kind of slowed down the stretch. Tell me about your second year in the league. It looks like you've come into your own. How is it different this year, and what are you doing differently? How's the routine different? All that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the routine's basically the same. I think the only thing that's like changed is like the understanding of big league hitters. And I think like, you know, coming from like AAA to big leagues was a huge jump. Just like the fact that the guys don't swing. I mean, you know, you got a guy like Freddie that'll sit in the box and watch 4 pitches and know exactly where the zone is, where the guys in AAA are like, oh, it's somewhere close, and they'll swing out their, you know, out their shoes, and it's crazy like that. So
The Miz. We've talked about this before. Have you been recruiting for Team Poland for the next WBC?
I have not. You know, I was looking back on the you know, family history. I think I might be too far outside of it.
No,
so.
what? Your last name is Mizorowski.
I know.
To play for Poland, you just have to know. You have to have met somebody from Poland once, I think.
Or the last 3 of your last name has to say ski.
Like Robleski, he'd be a perfect guy for you to start recruiting.
Okay.
Also, I heard Skeens is part Polish.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be nice.
Pop in the shallow right. Rojas over the shoulder makes the catch.
Skeens is American.
24 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings for Jacob Mizorowski, leading the majors in strikeouts. An opponent's average 254 pitches of 100 miles per hour plus. And we were talking about how it doesn't matter what the name is, it doesn't matter what the background is. It seems like the Brewers get the most out of their pitchers. And I asked Waino, what is the reason? And he said, I don't know, but you being on the inside, Miz, what is it that the Brewers do that extracts the most out of it? Seems like all their pitchers.
You know, I think it's the masterminds right there at the end of the dugout for me. You know, Jim and Hookie. Those guys are, you know, in everyone's back pocket in catch play during the, you know, between games. And at every bullpen, they always have something they want to add, subtract. So it's one of those. And then, of course, all the guys upstairs in the boxes up there that are just, yeah. You know, just have so much technology that they're awesome with.
Well, Miz, we appreciate your time and continued success, okay?
Yes, of course. Thank you, guys.
All right. The Miz joining us here in Milwaukee. Sasaki with a clear.
Impossible dream to find.
Welcome back to Milwaukee, here with Dodgers manager Dave Roberts. Dave, Roki Sasaki gave up 3 in the first inning. What have you seen since?
I think since I've seen better fastball command. I think he's allowed that to set up his split, and you saw that in that last at bat right there. And you know, yeah, the first inning, I think that, you know, typical of what the Brewers do. You saw the Terang gets behind and flares the ball over there. But I think right now, Roki, you know, he built his pitch count up, but I think right now he's in a good rhythm.
Obviously, you swept that team, Milwaukee, in the NLCS last year, but in the regular season, you've had trouble against them. What makes them such a difficult opponent?
I think the thing that makes them difficult is 1 through 9. They put forth good at bats. They run counts. They don't strike out much. You know, they can steal base. They can hit behind the runner. And then pitching wise, they do a good job preventing runs. They draft good pitching. They develop good pitching. The bullpens are always strong, so they can shorten the game, and they can defend. So I think that, yeah, in the regular season they had our number, and I think in the postseason we fortunately got ahead. And you get these guys playing from behind, then you have a better chance.
Dave, thanks a lot. All right, Joe, back to you.
All right, County Andy Pajes swings and misses after the leadoff double from Freddie Freeman. And to Dave Roberts' point about the Brewers getting ahead, they're trying to extend the winning streak to 5 games, and over the last 5 games, outscoring their opponents 16-0 in the first 3 innings of the game. And then that whole style that they play, AJ, it just snowballs on you, and they can knock you back on your heels.
Well, they play great defense. They usually throw strikes. Their bullpen is one of the best. So once they get ahead of you, the other team is trying to figure out how I can get back into it. Well, they don't walk a lot of guys. They don't make errors. It's hard to get back into these games as a big league team when you're fixing guys out of the bullpen that throw 100. Every guy comes in is 100, 100, 100. You're down 3, 4 runs. It's just too hard. That's why the Brewers have been great in the regular season.
Why is it so different in the postseason?
Well, I have an opinion on this.
Love to hear
well,
it.
Also, the Dodgers are really tough in postseason. For that, let's just say that they have a star-studded lineup that's comfortable in the biggest moments. They play Dodger Stadium where lots of players go and they're not comfortable. So that's not an easy matchup for anyone, but especially their younger team. But when you don't throw a lot of innings with your starting pitchers and you use up your bullpen a lot, we've seen this.
Pages scorches one to the left field corner, and that'll get the Dodgers on the board. Back-to-back doubles to open this fourth for Freeman and Pages, and it's 3-1. Hold that thought, Wayno. Looking at both doubles. First Freeman.
This is how you hit 299 as a big leaguer right here. Just slap the ball the other way, left on left, stays on a fast Freddie hustling, gets a double, and then Pages just gets his ball up and rifles it down the left field line. He wasn't trying to get him over right there. He was trying to get him in.
So a 3-1 game. Will Smith comes up representing the tying run. Pages snaps an 0 for 13 with that RBI double. Continue what you were saying, though, about
I was just saying that we've seen a lot of the Twins have been this way. A lot of lower market teams have done this, where their pitchers, their starting pitchers, they go out there, they throw 4 or 5 innings. The bullpen's covering 4 innings every single night. By the end of the regular season,
and to center, and caught by Churia. Pages hangs out.
By the end of the regular season, the team is gassed. Pitchers are gassed. But look, I mean, they won a tough series against the Cubs last year, and they ran up against the Buzzsaw, who won back-to-back World Series. So that's, I mean, it's not an easy thing. It is so hard to win the World Series. I mean, the best team before the last 4 or 5 years, the Dodgers hadn't won a World Series in who knows how long. It's just not, and they were great every single year. It's just not easy to win. You need a couple of veteran players in there making those young guys comfortable in the big moments. Need a couple of stars, too.
One away, Kyle Tucker, who had a double his first time, or had a triple his first time, takes low. How about from an offensive standpoint, though? There's this discussion about, okay, bat to ball and this pressure-oriented style plays. But does it ultimately in October? Because October after October, we see those teams fall to the home run hitting teams.
But you also see them falling to teams who have ace #1 type pitchers. The Dodgers were throwing out #1 pitcher after #1 pitcher last year.
But that's what you're going to face that time of year.
Right, but that's also the Brewers really haven't had a #1 type, like true ace pitcher in a while. Am I right?
To match
up. But they didn't pitch bad last year. They pitched well against the Dodgers. The Dodgers just didn't give up any runs.
Wait, who didn't have an ace pitcher?
Previous pitch was called a ball. The catcher's challenge.
Well, the Brewers had, I mean, they've had some solid starting pitching. Don't get me wrong.
Maybe a challenge here.
Pitch is overturned again.
It's overturned. Good one by Sanchez.
Freddie Peralta is solid, but the Dodgers are running out there Yamamoto and Snell 1 and 2. Those guys are Cy Young winning type pitchers. Those guys are nasty. And that's not to take away from Freddie. He's a great pitcher, but these guys are stars.
After sweeping the Dodgers during the regular season, got swept in the championship series, scored just 1 run in each of the 4 games, and you ask why, and then you look at the guys that they were going up against.
Glasnow, you're a 4 guy. That's just tough. That's tough stuff, man. But Yamamoto, one of the all-time great performances in postseason history last year. Just amazing what he was doing.
Tucker draws the walk. He's been on both times, and the Dodgers have the tying run aboard against Gasser 4th.
I have a different theory. We get a meeting at the mound. I have a different theory.
Good.
My theory is when you play the Brewers in the regular season, you don't prepare for them as you do in the postseason. When you go to postseason, everything is looked at locked into. They bunt, they hit and run, they steal bases. Everybody gets better at it. When you run into them on a random weekend, you don't have time necessarily like you do in the postseason to really take a look at some stuff. And I think in the postseason what happens is teams lock in a little bit more, and they're also, like Waino said, only facing most guys' best pitchers and their most reliable relievers most of the time with the off days. So you don't get that little lull where you're facing the 26th guy, the 13th pitcher on a staff that often, where you can try to make up some of your advantage. And as soon as someone gets in trouble, they get yanked out of the game, and here comes the #1 reliever. And I think that it's preparation, and it's also guys. You guys know we've done the postseason. You guys have done the postseason. Every pitch is focus. In the regular season, not that the guys aren't focused, but it's not as
9-0
sharp.
against the Dodgers the last regular season.
Different type of game.
And then when you're facing those very best pitchers, typically the way you beat them is not by pressure, pressure, pressure. It's that one big swing that, again, they're last in the majors in home runs. There's nothing bad. In fact, everything is good about the style that they play. But typically the teams that are standing at the very end, if they have that, they also have the slug component.
It's too hard to get 3 or 4 hits against the pitchers we just showed night in and night out. You have to have one guy run into a 3-run homer.
Hernandez takes a strike 0-2. Well, look at the Blue Jays last year. It's easy to say, well, the Brewers are just like the Blue Jays, bat to ball, high average, put the pressure on. Yes, but the Blue Jays also hit the ball out of the park. They were top 10 in slug and home runs to complement the bat to ball. Here's a high fly ball off to the bat of Hernandez, hooking to the corner, off the foul pole and gone. And with one big swing, Teoscar Hernandez has flipped the score. There it is on cue. The great equalizer. The home run makes it 4-3 Dodgers.
There you go. Flip a game. Just like that. A walk, a couple hits, a walk, and then one swing gives them the lead. That's exactly what we were just talking about. The Brewers, do they hit homers? Yes. But if you go through this Dodgers lineup, 1 through 9, you normally can hit you a homer. Miguel Rojas had the biggest homer of the season last year for him.
Here he is here taking a strike.
And what they do, I mean, the hallmark of what the Dodgers offense has been the last decade to me is they pass the baton. These guys find ways to get on, and they don't get greedy. They pass it to the next guy if they don't get the pitch they want.
It's that blend of power and patience.
That's the cutter. He's been that. Oh, there's a sweeper. He's been throwing that cutter sweeper into the righties, away to the lefties. He's used it a lot. Teoscar just stayed inside that ball, kept it fair. That's impressive. That ball's way off the plate.
Yes, but do you remember his first at bat? He punched him out with the guy on third on that pitch, and he almost fell down swinging at that time. He got to 2 strikes. He said, he ain't getting me with that pitch. That's big league veteran hitters.
Rojas flies into right center field and caught by Frelick as we get another look at Hernandez's 3rd home run in his last 8 games.
To your point too, AJ, before that pitch was almost off his foot. And when you come back in there, you better get it in there to a guy like Teoscar. Teoscar just sent that. He's got some of the easiest pop in all of baseball.
2 outs for Espinal. Taken outside, ball 1. So the Dodgers with a 4th spot here in the 4th. Down 3-0 to take the lead as they try to tie this series at a game apiece, looking for their 8th win in their last 10. Ahead of the Padres in the National League West. Took 2 of 3 from San Diego earlier this week in the first head-to-head meetings this year between the clubs. Brewers coming off sweeping the Cubs at Wrigley Field. The Cubs hadn't lost in about a month to take control at the top of the division. What a division it has been. What a race the National League Central is going to be this year. Still, we're almost in June. All 5 teams above 500. looking like a proud papa with pride at your old home right there, Bueno?
I'm very proud of those guys. I think they've exceeded everyone's expectations of what the season was going to look like. A couple of their young stars have really come with their own. Jordan Walker, biggest story, one of the biggest stories in baseball, I think.
Walk for Espinal. I mean, we let AJ talk about the White Sox. You take your turn on the Cardinals.
Yeah, that's just what the Brewers fans want to hear me talk about. Right. But you know, it really is impressive what they've done. They just had a complete start over there. Traded a bunch of their good players, got rid of a couple of their starter pitchers, legendary players, Goldschmidt and Arenado not there anymore. And these young guys have stepped up, and that division, though, to your point, is going to be a battle all year.
Ohtani taking a strike, so Gasser does get a chance to face Ohtani for a third time. You said be careful about missing the way you did last time.
Be careful with the sweeper here. He's been kind of weak away to stay out there.
Ball up.
If you show him that sweeper again, AJ, it's got to start like kind of middle in and work off the plate away, I think.
Yes. If he throws him a sweeper for a strike, it could get him.
Hope you brought your gloves. Right field seats. If so.
And see, watching his at bat, he's looking for it. He's taking heaters with not even a flinch. There's not even a, I'm going to swing. He is, for me, if I'm catching, I'm watching this going, he is looking for something breaking. If I throw a breaking ball, it has got to be off the plate away. See, there's not even a flinch on that ball. I mean, I know it's a ball out of the hand. But if he threw that right down the middle, he's not going to get it.
Even right here, he throws the sweeper, he's going to be all over.
Yes, he's just standing there waiting for one.
Nobody warming in the Brewers bullpen. This is Gasser's inning. Ohtani, the 8th man to hit in the frame. On 3-1, he swings and misses at a cutter.
I love that pitch selection right there. He's thrown a couple fastballs away. Throwing the same lane, start that little cutter. Was this a fastball away? No, it's not. I mean, look, if you're Gasser here, you might throw the exact same pitch right here.
He did throw the cutter and struck him out for the second time tonight. But the Dodgers on a Hernandez home run have taken the lead 4-3.
You can eat. That's unlimited value for $15.99. Applebee's all you can eat for $15.99.
Welcome back to Milwaukee, where the Dodgers have taken a 4-3 lead. We're here with Brewers manager Pat Murphy. Pat, Robert Gasser that inning, what did you see?
Yeah, he's been great up until that point. You know, he walked a couple guys, gave up some hard contact, 2 0-2 hits. You know, that can't happen. But he's a young pitcher. He's making his second appearance in the big leagues this year. And I'm proud of him that he hung in there and gave us that. And hopefully he can give us a couple more outs, and we'll get back in this thing.
Pat, there's been a lot of talk about how the Brewers are last in the majors in homers and yet right up there in runs. How do you do it offensively?
Yeah, we got a great bunch of guys, man. They battle. They know about offense. They know about getting to first. They know about battling up there. They try to discern strikes and balls as good as anybody and put it in play.
Pat, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Joe, back to you.
All right, Kenny. Bottom of the lineup here for the Brewers. Frelick, Ortiz, and Hamilton. Sasaki ahead 0-2 and ahead in the game for the first time. 1-2 on Frelick. Knocked in a run with a single his first time. Taking a look at finger Robert Gasser here.
Looked to me like
chop it to Rojas for the first time.
What can happen really easily is when you're throwing those sweepers and cutters, your fingernail pokes right into the side of your, and it can give you a little cut right there. And so you have to go in there. They have to put some kind of, I don't know what it is. Like it's almost like gunpowder. It plugs that. plugs that cut, maybe a little super glue even, and then they file it off. But it's not a rare thing. That happens sometimes.
And that's not going to bug you?
Well, it does make it a little more uncomfortable, but it's not the end.
Joey Ortiz with one away takes the ball.
What's the blue stuff on his fingers? See that? It looked like he had blue stuff all over his fingers.
Could be the paint from rubbing the ball. Yeah, that's what I mean. He's got a little blood blister at the top there. So what they'll do is they'll come in and they'll pop it. They'll come in there and they'll pop it. If it's a cut or a blood blister, they'll pop it. They'll put that stuff in there to make it not bleed anymore, and then you're okay. Until they pop it, it's real uncomfortable.
2-1 from Sasaki. What have you seen from Sasaki, Adam, as this outing has gone on?
Well, I think this is the second start in a row we've seen him throw his slider successfully. Last start, they were 0 for 5 against it, and he threw a season high 25 of them. Tonight he's got 18 of them, and they're 1 for 5 against it. I mean, it's you know, the hitters tell you what you need to work on. The hitters tell you what works, what doesn't work. I think the hitters were telling him the fork ball up in the zone, not so great. Split down, yeah. Slider down, yes. Fastball down, yes. When he gets his fastball up, his fastball doesn't have really any carry to it. It's just a very average, as far as analytically goes, fastball. And so working it up in the zone is kind of tough.
Right there.
That's the lane he needs to work it. And then if he does that, then he can throw his slider down off of it, and he can throw his split down off of it. He's got great downhill plane when he gets on top of the ball out front like that.
Pinpoint to make it a full count on Ortiz. Right back there, grounded past him. Rojas behind the bag. 2 up and 2 down. The greatest spectacle in racing is coming. The 110th running to the Indianapolis 500. Don't miss the pageantry and tradition of the biggest race in motorsports. Coverage begins at 10 a.m. Eastern with a green flag at 12:30 tomorrow on Fox.
Wayno, how much do you think that Dalton Rushing, who usually catches Sasaki, Will Smith is catching tonight, talked about him throwing the slider more often last start, which was his best start basically of his career, and then carrying that over into tonight?
I think they definitely put that bug in his ear, just like, hey, let's be aggressive with this pitch. There's no slug against it. We're getting good results with it.
Hamilton drives this ball to center field. Pages has room, and hold that thought as we move along to the 5th.
Call to the team that shows up fast to make things right. Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
Biggest swing of the game came from that man, Teoscar Hernandez, flipping the score around. 4-3 Dodgers on his 3-run home run, and we go to the top of the 5th. Gasser stays out there, and Mookie Betts hooks the first pitch he throws foul. 2, 3, and 4 for LA with Freeman and Pages to follow.
It's kind of been a tale of 2 different games almost. The first inning for the Brewers scored all their runs, 3 runs. Since then, 1 for 10, no runs. And then Gasser, first 3 innings, 1 for 10, no runs for the Dodgers. And then the 4th inning, 4 runs. Obviously with the home run, 2 doubles, and 2 walks. It's been two different games.
Similar start to yesterday's game where the Brewers jumped out in front in the first inning, but Dodgers yesterday, while they had a bunch of chances, couldn't come up with a big hit. 1 for 17 with men on base in yesterday's game. 5-1 Milwaukee win. Four-run 4th inning today. RBI double from Pages tied it. Home run from Teoscar Hernandez. We got the double from Pages, put him on the board, and the home run from Hernandez gave him the lead. 0-2 on bats. Gasser deals.
Ball. I love that pitch right there from Gasser. It just resets the trap. Now you can bounce something again. You can come back in with that sweeper, or you can throw that sinker down and away. You freeze them down and in right there. I mean, that up and in fastball right there just reset the whole trap on the whole at bat. You worked a couple of good cutters and sweepers inside, pulled him foul. Then you kind of stood him up. You got him off of that. He was comfortable in there. Now he's not anymore. And then you locked him up with the fastball down in. Just great pitch selection right there.
One gone in the fifth. Freddie Freeman walked in the first inning, doubled in the fourth, on base 4 times in the 2 games in this series. After he finished off the San Diego series earlier this week, 2 home runs, then 2 doubles. So the Dodger first baseman catching fire.
Ball.
Little high, ball 2. Gasser getting close to the end of the line. 79 pitches in his first game. This is his 87th here. And he saw Grant Anderson's ready.
They'd love him to get through this inning if they can. If he can get Freddie here, get through Pages, walk off the field, 5 innings. It didn't sound like a big deal, 4 1/3 versus 5, but it is a big deal to Gasser and the Brewers.
Back in the count, 3-2.
A lot of positives too.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, other than the home run to Teoscar, there was a lot of positives. More strikes, first pitch strikes.
Ends up losing him. And the third, I think that the 4th walk that he's issued. And that will be the end of the line for Gasser as Pat Murphy comes out. Freddie Freeman aboard for the 3rd time today. Robert Gasser's day comes to a close. Well, this Memorial Day and throughout America's 250th year, baseball honors those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. You can learn how you can support grieving military families at MLBtogether.com. Grant Anderson, the new pitcher for the Brewers, facing Andy Pages in a 4-3 game in the 5th. Anderson, who started his career with the Texas Rangers, didn't have much success there. Had an ERA north of 6 in his 2 seasons. Has come to the Brewers and found a home these last couple years. Pages got the Dodgers on the board with a double his last time. Got Freeman at first, 1 away. Ball and strike. Double for Pages, snapped an 0 for 13 slot. A lot of the year he was their best hitter. One of the best hitters in baseball for the first month. Combine that with his center field defense, which has been elite. A position like that, you've got a super valuable player here.
You could have made the argument he should have made the All-Star team last year. Make the argument again he should make it this year. There's one argument, Joe, you can make. He won the World Series. He made the biggest catch in the World Series last year that helped them win the World Series. Because Kike, we love you.
He ain't getting that.
Well,
and I think because of how bad the World Series was prior to that point, remember he had been benched. You forget about the fact that he was an all-star candidate in the first half. Only Ohtani hit more home runs than Pages did for the Dodgers during the regular season. He had 27 of them. So this isn't completely out of left field here, but it is quite a response after he was as bad as he was all of October. And one of the best run producers in the league this year is hitting .350 with men on base. On this 3-1 pitch, swings and misses, and the count is full. Good Hands Play, sponsored by Allstate, and here it was. Just had checked into the game, taken over for Tommy Edman, who had a bum ankle at that point, and saved the day. What would have been the walk-off hit for Ernie Clement turned into an iconic catch for Andy Pages. Into center field he goes here. Jackson Churio, much lower level of difficulty. 2 out.
Kike said he was going to catch that. I remember seeing the interview. He's like, "Oh, I had it." I'm thinking that ball was bouncing like crazy. You know, he wasn't real confident, if he was being honest. I mean, he is in the zip code of being able to be there, but been a tough one.
He also got truck stick.
He did. He did. Got middle linebacker there.
He's not a little guy, Andy Paez, or Smith fouling it off. So many moments in that game 7, really just in that 9th inning alone. It's like, oh yeah. That happened, and then that happened, and then that happened. So many moments that led to the Dodgers somehow pulling it out.
And then Will Smith hit the home run to win.
There goes Freddie Freeman. Throw down won't happen. And a stolen base for Freeman.
I was watching him earlier. Freddie had a big lead early, and then they picked off. They threw over once to get him back towards first a little bit, but he was thinking about going that entire time. He had him timed up.
Second of the season for Freeman. They both come over the last 10 games. Walking a stolen base and Freeman at second. 1-2 on Will Smith. Here comes Anderson. Now a 2-2. Fouls it off and stays alive. Smith's been given a little more time off the last few days. He'll have tomorrow off as well. Dalton Rushing will catch the final game of this series. Smith tries to find his swing. Just a little bit off mechanically the last few weeks. Not playing position catcher, as you know, AJ, a whole nother load on top of that.
It is. You have to play both sides. You care more about your pitchers than you do hitting. But he'll figure it out. He's too good of a player to not figure it out. This is what Will Smith does. Every time I watch him, it seems like it is a quality at bat, especially with guys in scoring position. A chance to drive in runs. Just gives you a really, really good at bat. And the other guy on that list was Contreras, who didn't get to play tonight, so we could have had the top 2 on OPS on this game.
Fly the other way. Frelick's going back on it to the track at the wall with just enough room to bring the top of the 5th to a close. We're halfway home in Milwaukee. Dodgers by a run.
It's our Wendy's pitcher profile. I want to show these last 4 outs. Watch the trend here. Split down. Split down. Fastballs down, sliders down, ground ball up the middle. But see, he's throwing pitches down in the zone. You can't drive those pitches. That was their best bolt right there. But when it's knee high like that, and you're working all your other stuff down, you can't go out and drive that pitch. You can't get underneath those. That is who he needs to be right there. If I'm him, I'm just locking that in. I'm bottling that up. I'm working my bullpens. I'm just pounding down, over and over until I get that into my system.
Top of the order here, Jackson Chourio in a 4-3 game. This is the kind of day you can be proud of as a starting pitcher, though, right? I mean, 35 pitches in that first inning, and here you are in the 5th with the lead.
Absolutely. Look, everybody's going to have a bad inning here and there. It's how you come back from it. Can you keep your team in the game? And that's what a great starting pitcher does. That's what he's done today after the first.
Trying to retire Chourio for the first time. He's got a pair of doubles. And gets a fastball by him, strike 2.
He's got good stuff. If he could just figure out how to harness it. That's why most of the major league teams wanted him to come, because he's on rookie contract, cheap, and you have control over him. But could you harness it? Could you get him to figure it out how to throw enough strikes?
Strikes him out looking with a splitter. You go from the high fastball to the splitter for his 3rd strikeout.
Yeah, and I don't know that he's necessarily trying to do that. It worked out. Well, you see the target there was supposed to be low too. Maybe getting a little fatigued. He's got to stay in his legs here. But it worked out because Jackson is such a good fastball hitter. He just elevated it just high enough to get it above the barrel, and it worked to split off of it.
I think, AJ, your point is a good one, and also the reason why the Dodgers are comfortable giving him time to figure it out. You really got nothing to lose by giving him the contract they did, signing him as you would a minor league player. And the regular season for the Dodgers has become close to a formality at this point, where they're willing to let him go learn on the job.
Agreed. This is. Everyone said he was going to go to the Dodgers, but it kind of was the perfect storm for a good team. Now, if you're going to go to a team that's not trying to compete, yes, they'll let you pitch every 5th or 6th day. But to come to a team that's trying to compete, the Dodgers were the perfect storm for him.
Strikes out Terang. That's back-to-back Ks against 2 guys he was yet to retire.
See, it's hard for him to buy into pitching low in the zone when you get swing and miss at the top. Those are fun. Those are fun. He's got to be able to do both, though. He just beat Bryce Terang twice in a row. Great fastball hitter.
2 up, 2 down. There's that low fastball.
If you can work those 2 zones, down and up, if you're a starting pitcher and if you never threw a ball thigh high all year, you would hardly ever give up a home run.
Check swing, no swing, and ball 2 on Vaughn.
By the way, that's a splitter at 90, 91. Not the other one he was throwing that was in the low 80s. That's the hard one. That's where the 2 different pitches come into play.
Let's go with a 2-1 pitch. Fastball poked on the ground to second. Rojas gobbles it up, and that is 10 in a row retired by Roki Sasaki.
Thing ever.
Well, it's been just 1 big inning apiece. Dodger inning a little bit bigger, though. 4-run 4th inning. The Brewers a 3-run 1st inning. And here we go to the 6th, where Kyle Tucker will lead off. If they go in for the Dodger right fielder, tripled his first time, walked and scored in the 4-run 4th. That takes ball 1 from Anderson. Tucker has been one of the most well-rounded players in the league the last few years. Flew under the radar in Houston, all the star power they had there. Goes to the Cubs last year. When he was healthy, he was great. Broke his hand, though, dealt with a calf injury. Even with those 22 home runs, to your point earlier, Adam, he stole 25 bases. There's the speed component. Flies this ball to shallow left. And Jake Bowers will make the grab for the first out of the inning. So 1 out. Here's Teoscar Hernandez, whose 3-run home run off of the foul pole is the difference in this game.
Missed. Just a mistake by Gasser after he had punched him out his first at bat on that sweeper that he got off the plate. That one doesn't get all the way in. Teoscar beats it to the spot. And right as we were talking about a big blow 3-run homer, Teoscar delivered for the Dodgers.
Remember we were talking earlier about Jackson Chourio and how he's aggressive, and they're trying to thread that needle of not taking that away from him and asking him to be a little more disciplined. Dave Roberts is having the same conversation with us today about Teoscar Hernandez, where his walks have gone up lately. He's been more disciplined, and that's good. But what makes him him is the ability to turn on a ball and hit it a really long way, and you don't want to sort of neuter that ability by making him too focused on being patient.
Agreed. You don't want to lose the thing that makes you special. The thing about Teoscar Hernandez, he could always hit a fastball, and he could always hit a fastball out of the ballpark. If you take the aggressiveness away, you're just a click behind. And the one thing Teoscar has struggled with this year is right there. He's a little bit late on fastballs. And And that's trying to look for the perfect pitch. I went through this. I remember I went to the White Sox in 2005. Like, we need you to walk me. I got off to a bad start. And then it finally came to me and said, you know what? Just go hit.
Go be you.
Just go hit. There's never going to be Kevin Youkilis who took every pitch.
Previous call was a strike. The hitter's challenge.
Powered by T-Mobile's network. And Hernandez is right.
The ball,
So it's 3-1 instead of 2-2.
I mean, look, that's way outside. It's like a quarter of a centimeter.
Oh man,
it's never been tougher to be an umpire.
I was going to say the umpire's got to be just like, oh, he's off by a hair, and so I'm quote unquote wrong. And now a walk. This summer, the biggest tournament on the planet comes to America, and you can see it all right here on Fox. It's the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and it all kicks off less than a month from now, June 11th on Fox and FS1.
So I actually talked to the umpires before the game. I ran into them in the tunnel down there, and Marvin Hudson, who I know, Trip Gibson, the home plate umpire, who I stood in front of for a lot of games. And ABS came up. Ball in. And I said to him, what do you guys think? He said, it could be a centimeter off and look awful, or a centimeter right and look great. It's such a small difference. What I love though is Teoscar looked at Gary Sanchez. Said, I think that was outside. He said, yeah. I think Gary Sanchez said, yeah, you're probably right on that one. But again, a third of an inch.
1-1 on Rojas. 0 for 2 in this one. I think we all agree that it's worked well. Fans have enjoyed it. I don't know if what has come out of it in terms of the increased walk rate and the drop in swing rate is good. And I also don't know what the answer is to try and steer that back a little bit. Because nobody wants more walks and less swings.
I don't know if you're getting rid of that. I mean, that's here to stay.
Yeah. But how do you tweak it? I'm not saying get rid of ABS as DL Hall works. I'm saying how do you tweak it without throwing it haywire in the other direction to not have so many walks? This is the highest walk rate on record. Grounded to short, 6-4-3. Double play to end the top of the 6th. And a discussion for another inning. 4-3 ball game for the last.
Do what's right. USAA, taking care of our own.
Welcome back to Milwaukee. We have the AT&T high-speed replay, and it is the sausage race, which I got to do. Wainwright, you have not done this. Joe Davis, you have not done this. I got smoked, but I was one heck of a Polish sausage, and I did not lose to chorizo. Thanks to AT&T.
I didn't have you winning that race.
Thanks to AT&T for me not winning that race, because I stopped and made a phone call at home plate, and that's why I lost.
Alex Vesia comes in, faces Christian Yelich in a 4-3 game here in the bottom of the 6th. Vesia's been one of the top relievers in the league. And how about this Dodger bullpen? 32 consecutive scoreless innings. That's one shy of the franchise modern record. Going to go back to 1998. At 33 consecutive scoreless innings. And they've done it, Waino, without Edwin Diaz. Several other guys on the injured list as well.
Just trying, aren't you? Someone's trying, and I'm not going to say it. Someone's trying. The ultimate J word.
Trying to do my job, AJ.
But Joe, you're such a Dodgers homer, and then you say that.
3-1.
You're usually the guy that drops the jinx.
I know. That's why I was proud it was someone else besides me.
It's a deep group. Last year there was all kinds of question marks going into the postseason with the Dodgers pitching, right? Like last year, was the bullpen going to do anything? We didn't know. The starters all went out there and threw nothing but zeros, and the bullpen came in and followed them up.
Saki showed up and became an instant closer.
Yeah, it's got it's a nice thing to have a stable as deep as they've had throughout the years, for sure.
Yeah, last year's bullpen during the regular season was 21st in ERA. They're third this year. Kyle Hurt gets ready as Vesia brings a 3-2, and Yelich takes ball 4. Tying run aboard to lead off the 6th.
The thing is, Joe, what you just said, it's not the names you're expecting to hear in this bullpen. Yes, Vesia, but no Diaz. Scott's down there. Trinan's down there. But a lot of the guys that you would think, oh, these are the Dodgers bullpen, Gratterall, and for years Kopech last year, and some of the others that you know that are household names. These are different guys than what the Dodgers fans have come to expect, and they've been great.
Sanchez takes the ball. Yeah, you mentioned Kyle Hurt, Will Klein, Jack Dreyer is on the injured list at this point, but he came out of the middle of nowhere last year. Sanchez 0 for 1 with a walk. And in a one-run game, you go back to that first inning where the Brewers got 3. Sanchez made the last out of the inning, though, at third base on a play in front of him trying to take an extra 90 feet.
Yeah, we don't know where that first inning could have ended up had they not run themselves out of the inning. That was a pretty big mistake. But right here, though, this is how the Brewers do. They get out there, leadoff walk. Now they're 2-0. 3-0. This is what you can't do if you're Vesia in the Dodgers bullpen. You can't allow the Brewers to have to get free passes. They've got to earn these right
here. Sanchez in his 12th season, 33 years old, still an imposing hitter. 5 home runs in a part-time role.
That's how you get it. He's got a pretty big hole inside, but if you get the ball up and away from Gary Sanchez, he has traditionally always taken great swings out there. He's got to drive this ball inside, but Gary's going to have a good look at it.
Time run at first, nobody out, bottom of the 6th. Alex Vesia's 3-1 to Gary Sanchez. Taken for strike 2.
He wants no part of swing.
That was very borderline. Yeah, that's right.
Vesia has not given up a single hit on that pitch this year. He's given up just 1 on his changeup.
And they're 0 for 20 with 11 Ks with the slider.
Swing and a miss. Gets him with a fastball. Back from 3-0 to strike him out.
Start 3-0, then he paints that fastball in, and then he throws that very close slider right on the corner. Gary didn't like it, but that's what we're talking about. The inside third, up and down, Gary is really traditionally, he just can't get to that ball, but if you get the ball out away from him, he loves to get extended.
Bowers are thrown away. Strike 1. Fastball's by a 92, but it's that what has become in vogue, high spin, hold its plane, invisible. I don't know if it's in vogue as much as it is now measured and more appreciated.
I just look back how many guys I played with in the minor leagues that never really made it, that threw that, they could throw that ball that was the high spin, but they were told you got to throw the ball down. How many of those guys could have pitched at the upper quadrants? They was, you got to throw it down, you got to throw it down, but they couldn't sink it. They couldn't really turn it over, but they could really rush that ball up. Oh no, that'll never work. No, now it's a thing.
Well, would it have worked back then, though? That's the question.
It would have, because it's the same swings, I think.
No, different swings nowadays,
swings.
you think?
I don't know.
Well, I think the high fastball came in vogue when the launch angle became in vogue. Don't you think, or not?
Well, no, I think it came in vogue when we could measure.
Okay, maybe that's true.
We could measure the high. It's always been, hey, 0-2, throw it up here, throw it up here.
But were guys able to cover that before or better?
Maybe it's both those things. Maybe it was a response to the uppercut swing, but then you identified the good ones once you made that the response with the data that you're talking about, AJ. You guys can both be right. Isn't this great?
That's so cool, Joe. Thank you.
I'm here for you guys.
Just put a smile right on my face.
Is there
Wayno's
one
mad.
of us
though.
that's writer, though?
I kind of like yours. Yeah.
All I know is in
Okay, Joe,
2019,
that
in 2019 we came to spring training. Everybody says you have got to throw a four-seamer at the top to combat this launch angle thing, and it's just simply not true. You can still combat the launch angle thing, throwing the ball down in the zone too. You just can't throw it high. You just can't throw it thigh high.
2-2 to Bowers. Got him with the high fastball. Back-to-back Ks for Vesia. 2 down in the 6th.
There it is. Four-seamer stays true. Bauer swings under it. It's because they can measure it, not because of his upper.
And it may not be 100, but that's premium Milwaukee squeaky cheese curd cheddar nasty fastball at the top with 4 or 5 inches of extra carry on it, and you just can't get the barrel to that.
Breaking pitch in for a strike on Frelick. Leadoff walk for Yelich. He's still at first. Yelich 3 stolen bases so far this year. Challenge coming here from Will Smith. Yeah, and it was a good one. It's cleanly a strike. And it's 0-2.
Oh, I wish I had it.
Thousands of those for me when I was pitching right there.
You know how happy it makes you as a catcher you to the umpire.
Will Smith, one of the best in baseball, getting those calls overturned. Behind only William Contreras,
who has a boatload of attempts also.
High volume challenger. Vesia to Frelick after a toss over. You think you would have been able to control yourself on the mound?
I was just about to say, I like what they're doing with the catchers, because pitchers, you know, especially how good catchers are at framing the ball, we think everything's a strike.
Yeah.
Because they are, you know, but catchers definitely have a better look at that. I'm glad to see most all the ones I've seen are that way.
There's only been 62 challenges from pitchers all year total.
And they've been wrong 61 times.
They're 32%.
Yeah, exactly.
Compared to the catchers are 60% right.
This goes back to the better athlete.
32% get you in the Hall of Fame, Joe.
That's true. I don't know if that category does it though.
It goes back to the old catchers are the most intelligent people on the field, the best athletes on the field, usually the best looking players on the field, and they have the most stuff, and they know the strike zone the best. It just never ends.
Most stuff. What's that?
They have the most. They get the most coolest gear. They get gloves. They get all the gear.
Let's go back to the best athletes part of that.
Let's go back to the 2-2 to Frelick. Fly to center field. Andy Pages will save us all. Send us to the 7. Well, the Dodgers and the Brewers here on Baseball Night in America playing a tight ball game. 3 runs for Milwaukee in the first. The Dodgers back with 4 in the 4th. And a 4-3 score as we welcome inside Joe and Adam and a catcher over there. And AJ.
Incredible athlete.
So much stuff.
No doubt.
All the stuff.
You get all the stuff. That's why I became a catcher, Joe. Because I got all the stuff.
Espinal leads off against DL Hall, who fires ball 1. 9-1-2 for LA against Hall. Part of this excellent bullpen. One of the returns in the Corbin Burns trade a couple years back. Big time prospect that had a 5 ERA in his first year in Milwaukee, and then he dealt with injuries last year, but putting it together this year in a bullpen role with a 154.
You see, he's just got a live arm, good sinker there, big frame. Let's see what they like about him.
Espinal flies one to left field, got it off the end of the bat though, and Bowers will have it. 1 away in the 7th.
People always talk about the Rays. I don't want to trade with the Rays because the Rays, if they trade for a pitcher, he always becomes great. the Brewers have got to be close, because every trade it seems like the Brewers make, they figure out a role for that person, whether it's Joey Ortiz, their shortstop, DL Hall, whoever they make that trade for, Harrison. It always seems to work for them. You never hear about the Brewers just whiffing on a trade.
Strike one on Ohtani. I mean, how about the one that sent Caleb Durbin to the Red Sox this winter? They got Kyle Harrison, one of the top pitchers in baseball this year. Shane Drone has been a stud out of the pen as Ohtani lashes a base hit into center. They got David Hamilton, who's been a valuable, versatile player for them. And Durbin in Boston is hitting 170. I know he went over there with two others, but he was the main guy in the deal. Yeah, if Matt Arnold calls, I don't know, I might be busy.
Aaron Savali for Andrew Vaughn, first base. They saw something. They went out. They got it done. It's a pretty amazing run they've had of making good moves. And that's how, if you're a smaller market team, you got to hit on your draft picks and you got to hit on the trades.
And then you got to be a player development monster, like we're talking about with their pitchers.
They are. But Kyle Harrison. I mean, look, we talk about the Miz. His numbers are arguably better across the board. Lower ERA, better record. Now they're both incredible ERAs and they're both great records. But Miz got strikeouts. But man, you know, for the rest of the Brewers starting staff, he's really kind of solidified that 5.
Harrison, parts of 3 major league seasons prior to this one, mostly San Francisco, a couple games in Boston last year, was 9-9 with a 4.39 ERA. 5-1 with a 1.77 in his first 9 starts with the Brewers.
Whoa.
Dodgers catch a break this weekend. They don't have to see either of those guys, the Miz or Harrison.
Brewers have more coming too.
Yeah,
they have prospect. They have the #1 prospect right now.
Over the position player group they have in the minors is ridiculous. Talk about all the pitching that they brought up, but I mean, they are stacked.
The #1 prospect has got the great.
Give it to him.
Jesus made.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Mate.
And I know that he's the top guy, but there are guys even ahead of him.
Pena, Jet Williams, who they got in the Devin Williams, or not, excuse me, not in the Freddie Peralta trade. Cooper Pratt, who they've already signed to a long-term deal.
He figures probably the first one coming up. He's in AAA. There's a chopper up the middle, and it could be another double play. Terang will ensure that it is. And DL Hall faces the minimum in the 7th. We stretch in the 1-run game. The game summary sponsored by Blue Moon and Pete Macheska. 4-3, Dodgers ahead of the Brewers. 3 in the first for Milwaukee, 4 in the 4th for the Dodgers. And Sasaki recovering from that 35-pitch first inning to go through 5. And here we are to the bottom of the 7th. Kyle Hurt comes in after a scoreless 6th from Alex Vesia. Hurt in his 15th game. Gave up a run in his first game of the season. Nothing since. Joey Ortiz looks at ball 1.
Biggest thing on that game summary, Wayno, Roki Sasaki. After the first inning, the way he figured it out, whatever he did.
Yeah, Roki's last 3 innings, 7 for 9. First pitch strikes. Pounded the zone with his heater up and down. Good slider. Do a couple of really good splits in there. Looked like a different guy after the first. Strike 1 is just so important. I mean, if you're a starting pitcher, a relief pitcher, I don't care what kind of pitcher you are. If you're out there, if you're falling behind, you're not getting strike 1, you're missing a huge opportunity. Slugging percentage, all that just goes skyrocket if you don't get strike 1.
Dancing changeup makes it 2-2. Hamilton and Churio to follow in this inning. 4-3 Dodgers in front. 2-2 to Ortiz. He goes up to get it and fouls it off.
This is a huge opportunity for the Brewers right here. If they can get one of these two guys at the bottom of the order on base, bring up Jackson and Bryce Terang with somebody on the base pass, it would be a great thing for them. Turn the lineup over and get somebody on there for their big guys.
Only one base runner the last 4 innings. It was Yelich's walk to lead off last inning. And it's gone to 3-2 on Ortiz. Light hitting shortstop, but he did walk twice last night. He's worked the full count here.
He's a guy, if he gets on, you have to honor his speed. He can pick your pocket out there at second.
Hurts 3-2.
Ball.
Just misses. Ball 4. Tying run aboard to open the 7th for the Brewers. Down to the field with Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, you mentioned all the position prospects that the Brewers have coming. They're actually positioned to do something of a line change soon. Cooper Pratt, you mentioned him. He's the guy who signed an 8-year, $50.75 million extension while he was still in the minors. He could take over shortstop for Joey Ortiz. Kent Williams, acquired in the Freddie Peralta trade. He could become the third baseman.
Here's a bunt up along third. Espinal's only chances with a bare hand, and he makes it against one of the fastest players in baseball and one of the best bunters in Hamilton. Can he go ahead to finish?
And there's one more outfielder at AAA in addition to those 2 infielders. His name is Luis Lara. He is tearing it up as well. Now, the Brewers are reluctant to act while they're playing so well. You can understand that. But at some point, these changes are likely to come. And as you guys mentioned, there are 2 infielders behind Pratt and Williams who are even more highly regarded than they are. That's Jesus Made and Luis Pena.
Tying run into scoring position here for Churio. With the successful bunt and almost a bunt hit. David Hamilton, who has more of those than anybody in baseball. Now Churio has swung a hot bat today with a pair of doubles.
I know he was bunt for a hit there, AJ, but I might have given him a chance to steal that bag with the slow delivery that Hurt has, and then bunt.
Now, honestly, I would normally say that, but I have no problem with that because you give your 2 of your best hitters in Churio and Bryce Terang a shot.
Yeah.
He bunted for a hit. It was a sack, but if he got a hit, it would have been even better.
Yep.
But
I don't hate it.
You got to take a shot here with your 2 of your best hitters with a runner, just tying run in scoring position.
And Espinal's made a couple nice plays today. Rare start at third.
Barehanded. That ball is another foot down the line. He's safe. It was just a little bit too close to the pitcher. Espinal was able to gather himself and have a little bit of momentum going to first base. Just a good baseball play offensively and defensively.
1-2 to Churio. Swing and a miss at the high fastball. Strike 3.
Yeah, and that's where you can get Jackson. If you're throwing fastballs, you can't let him extend. You can get him. You can get him in. You can get him up and in, especially with 2 strikes. That's probably his biggest swing and miss hole right there.
This is another one of those fastballs we were talking about earlier. That high spin from a low slot upshoot fastball that Kyle Hurt uses to finish off Churio. They're going to put Terang on intentionally and go righty-righty against Andrew Vaughn.
It's an interesting matchup here because Andrew Vaughn can hit the fastball. Kyle Hurt has one of the hardest fastballs to hit in all of baseball. He's got over a 40% whiff rate. We just saw with Churio. This is kind of strength on strength here.
Only guy with a higher swing and miss rate out of the pen against the fastball is Mason Miller. So Vaughn takes a change up in the dirt. He's got the tying run at second. The go-ahead run at first. Brewers looking for their first hit since the 2nd inning. It's McGill getting loose for the 8th. Hurts 1-0. Strike 1.
All it takes is one changeup to reset. First pitch changeup in the dirt, Easy take for Vaughn. He's thinking, all right, here comes that fastball that's impossible to hit. Change it for a strike, 1-1. It just puts a little doubt in the back of a hitter's head.
Through another change, tapped to short. Mookie Betts over to first, second inning in a row that a Dodger reliever pitches around the leadoff walk.
Spicy chicken just got better at Wendy's.
Now the Dodger bullpen 34 consecutive scoreless innings. That is a franchise record. Kyle Hurt follows Alex Vesia. And we go to the 8th inning where Freddie Freeman will lead off against DL Hall. Misses with his first pitch with a challenge from Gary Sanchez. They have been challenging a bunch. Trip Gibson today.
Milwaukee have one challenger man.
And confirmed it is a ball. So 1-0 on Freddie Freeman, who's reached base all 3 times. He's doubled, he's walked twice. Dodgers had 5 hits and 5 walks in this game. One swing the difference, though. The 3-run home run from Tasker Hernandez.
So there's been 10 combined walks this game. Only 1 has scored. That's wild.
The last 2 innings leadoff man walked for the Brewers and couldn't get him in.
The only one that scored was on the grand slam by Teoscar.
Full count. Freeman starting the inning and fouling it back. Dodger offensive breakdown in this game. Or both teams, beg your pardon.
That was a 3-run, not a grand slam.
As part of that 4-run inning. Freeman takes another walk. His 3rd of the game. He's reached all 4 times.
Freddie Freeman still. He's just incredible. He just quality at bat after quality at bat. Lefty, righty, doesn't matter.
No, when they used to shift him before they banned the full shift, they would pull the third baseman all the way over to shortstop, and he hit like 500 against the shift because he would take his hits left. Just a really hard out.
Yanni Pages had the other run knocked in that 4-run inning with a double. At 2-0. We're asking Dave Roberts today if it has anything to do with his Pages' slump lately. They're dealing with success. So a couple things. Number one, he had plenty of success last year. He had to learn to handle. And the other thing is, he said, I don't really worry about anything mindset related with this guy. He's just so focused and never too high, never too low. Said the other day, these guys are all big leaguers, but not many of them are as tough as Andy Pages mentally. Ball. It's another walk.
You want to watch how to get yourself out of a game real fast? You just saw it. Back-to-back leadoff walks.
They'll get them out of there as fast as they can, get these guys loose.
No, drive. Pitching coach is crazy. Manager's crazy. You're down a run. You got to hold them. You know you're getting to the back end of the Dodger bullpen. You can't afford to give up any other runs. Back-to-back leadoff walks to put them right back in trouble.
Well, we got the greatest spectacle in racing coming with the 110th running to the Indy 500 with a pageantry and tradition of the biggest race in motorsports. Coverage begins at 10 a.m. Eastern with the green flag at 12:30 tomorrow on Fox. Brewers won the first game of this series 5-1. A 4-game winning streak going for Milwaukee. They've won 17 of their last 22. Looking for a 10th consecutive win over the two-time defending champ in the regular season. Dodgers looking for an 8th win out of their last 10 games. Battle the first place teams. Rematch of the championship series. Couple ducks on the pond for Will Smith here. He's 0 for 3. Paul would love what the Brewers have gotten the last 2 innings, and that is a ground ball double play. Freeman at second, Pages at first. We're talking about the Dodgers' collective struggles against left-handed pitching this year with a bunch of guys that have always hit them. And Smith an example of that. OPS about cut in half from what it was last year against lefties. Woo. 2-2.
I don't know if you guys are fans of the wave, but there's not a terrible wave going around the stadium right now.
I like the wave.
Became popular to hate on it for a while, but ain't nothing wrong with it.
It keeps the fans engaged, gets them all excited. What's not to like about the wave? Plus it looks cool.
Smith bangs a base hit into center field. Freeman's given the wave. The throw from Churio is not in time, and an RBI single for Will Smith gives the Dodgers the insurance as they take advantage of the lack of command from Hall to start the inning.
Freeman's legs being pushed today. He's got a stolen base. Scores on a hard line drive to center. Get Freddie getting a good lead right here. Getting a good jump. How about this turn, AJ?
Not bad. Not bad for Fast Freddy. That's what we used to call him, Fast Freddy, because he can steal bases and he's faster than you think. He takes about 4 strides and he's at the next base. And long legs. Sneaks in there. Gets sent by Dino Evil, the third base coach. Another great at bat by Will Smith.
Good fundamental slide there too, keeping his foot down. You see a lot of people slide, their foot comes up right there. They still could get out on the tag there, even though it's late.
Freeman's spoken about the emphasis on base running coming up through the Braves minor league system. Where in most minor league systems, the focus is all about development, as it should be mostly, but he said we also cared about winning games, and winning games, a lot of that has to do with the little things like running the bases. So they're training for this his whole pro life. This line drive took Hall's glove with it.
Pitchers.
Come on.
What does that mean?
See the catcher knock the pitcher's glove off.
A little pitch count issue.
It's official game. You have to have one of those every game. You can't just get through one game without a pitch count issue.
Reached a quota. Let's move on.
Please.
If guys would just stand at second and not try to steal signs, you know, just be like gentlemen.
Here's Tucker, who's got a triple and a walk today. Bouncing ball left side. Hamilton's got it. We'll go to second one. Throw to first is late.
The modified shift kept him from turning that double play, because you watch his replay, Ortiz didn't know if he was covering or if it was Turang. Watch, this ball's hit, and because Turang is kind of modified shift, he has so far to go. Ortiz starts to go, and it took him a little bit longer to get there, a little bit of a double pump from Hamilton at third base. That allows Tucker to beat it.
And before Hernandez comes up, we're going to get a change right here. 5-3, runners at the corners in the eighth.
Shop.com.
That's all play ball. Don't miss play ball weekend coming up June 5th through the 7th. Encouraging youth everywhere to go out and play. You can go to playball.org to register for a free event near you today. No register needed for tarps off. Going on here in Milwaukee, way up in the left field corner. As Hernandez checks in with first and third and one away. Jake Woodford misses outside with his first pitch. The St. Louis Cardinals teammate of yours.
Yeah, good sinker, big sweeper. He's going to have to keep this ball down. Teoscar.
He's already teed off on a 3-run home run back in the 4th inning. Has 3 of them in his last 8 games. 4 all year coming into this stretch.
Teoscar's a very good up ball hitter. Struggles the ball away from him and down. Woo.
Ball 3. Paez at third. Tucker at first. Hernandez taking a strike, and the count goes full.
Good pitching. 3-1. You know he's looking for a heater. He just paints it down and away. Got to try and take advantage of his aggressiveness here. Throw a strike to ball, right, Wayno?
Got to.
And set strike to strike, and a base hit to right, and a 6-3 lead for the Dodgers. Frelick's throw is cut off. Hernandez is knocked in for the 6.
After a absolute painted backdoor sinker the pitch before, it's so hard to follow that up sometimes. If you leave it just on the plate a little bit more, it just looks like it's right down the middle. That one actually was right down the middle, wasn't it?
It was.
Just a great piece of hitting.
Yeah, but I just don't love the pitch selections. You paint one, you get away with one. You know Teoscar wants the RBI. You know he's going to be aggressive. You got to make him chase. Nothing against Miguel Rojas hitting behind him. He did have a base open.
2 walks, 2 singles in the inning, and 2 runs in the bank. And now a squeeze play, pushed along first. Flip to the plate is late. Rojas squeezes home Tucker. And the Dodgers lead it 7-3. Beating the Brewers at their own game right there.
The indefensible play right there. You saw the old safety squeeze, bunt it to the first baseman. He has to hold the guy on. He can't get there fast enough. And go Rojas and the Dodgers execute this perfectly. As soon as Kyle Tucker at third sees that ball down, he goes. And Javon does everything he can. You just can't stop that play.
Espinal. So when you think of the Dodgers, you think of the MVPs and the superstars and the home runs, and then they do something like that to you. Not the first time you could catch a team napping.
They weren't napping. That was just, you can't do anything against that defensively. There's no, I guarantee the Brewers, I don't want to say we're thinking they were going to do that, but Andrew Vaughn got to that ball pretty quickly, made it closer than normal, but you just can't, stop that play if it's executed correctly.
Yeah, and you want it pushed over there to first base side. The only place that doesn't work really is if you just bunt it right back to the pitcher or too hard to third, right?
Yeah. If you make the first baseman field in, unless it's a one-hop hard bunt, they're safe at home every time. That was the Joe Madden. Gosh, I remember Joe Madden, Shohei comes up, but we practiced how to stop that when he was at the Rays. We never could figure out a way.
Ohtani, the 8th man to bat in this inning. He's 1 for 4. He's ahead 2-0.
That's the tough thing about facing the best hitters is that you try to be so careful early in the count, you end up falling behind the count, and then they've got you right where they want you.
Green light him here, don't you? Trust Shohei to get a good pitch and let it eat.
You can't take your foot off the gas against this Brewer team. They can come back in so many different ways.
Bases loaded after the walk. And the Dodgers have batted around here in the 8th.
Interesting. Is it batting around if Freddie doesn't come back up? It's an age-old discussion, John. I agree with you, but some people say that the Freddie has to come back up to save that.
To complete the loop thing.
Yeah, it's a weird argument people have.
Same people that think a hot dog's a sandwich.
Piece of meat between two buns.
Yeah, it's a hot dog.
It's not a sandwich.
Correct. 3 walks in this inning. 8 today for the Dodgers and 14 in the 2 games in this series. Loaded up for bats. Trying to really break this thing open. And looking for his first hit today. Guys it to center. Jackson Churio waits on it to come down, and this 8th inning comes to a close, but the Dodgers get 3. In college football stadiums last year, and then in the big leagues, one guy on a very cold day at Coors Field in Denver did it. Blew up in St. Louis. It's the tarps off movement. Just a bunch of dudes having fun with their shirts off. And this group is growing. Up in the extreme upper left field corner, you got this huge group of folks who've already started the tarps off, but then people just flowing up the walkway to join them.
Well, is it just me, or is the muscles increased up there? Like, this might be a muscle head thing now. Before it was kind of funny. There was some soft, wasn't the most in shape bodies I'd seen. Now they all look pretty in shape.
Yeah, I don't know. They've been working out hard since they started the movement. See Yelich leading off the 8th. Ball to strike against Tanner Scott.
When we first noticed it, by the way, it was just the top 2 rows. Now it's almost the whole section. And people are just going up there to take their shirts off. I love it. I think it's great. Why not? Keep the fans involved.
Oliver Marmol in St. Louis invited the tarps off group into the clubhouse.
He couldn't do it now.
Yeah, that group's a little too big.
It's too big a group.
There's no clubhouse that would hold him. 2-2 on Yelich is Tanner Scott. We talk about the bullpen turnaround for the Dodgers last year to this year. His turnaround is the biggest reason why. ERA close to 5 in his first season with the team. It's down below 2 this year. And it's nothing surprising. He's just doing what he had done in the years leading up to signing the big contract with LA, getting back to doing that. Here's his payoff to Yelich. And it's a strike. He went around, one away.
Live, I didn't think he went, but from that angle, I know that's not right down the line. I don't know, Wayne. I know you're going to say he swung. Right?
I didn't think he swung, actually.
Gary Sanchez swings and misses.
Do you think that that should be something that can be reviewed?
No, because there's honestly
There's no rule.
rule.
Yeah, it's all
subjective.
Okay, so let's make it objective and put it into the Hawkeye technology. Right? Let's come up with a way to measure it objectively. There's a little jam shot up the middle. Rojas ranges way over there. Heaves a throw to first. Not in time. And an infield hit for the Brewers catcher.
Best athletes. Just saw it right there.
Most stuff. A lot of stuff, those catchers.
A lot of stuff happened on this play. Gets blown up.
Best athlete. Barely beat out. Yeah, okay.
Gets blown up. Actually, Miguel Rojas makes a really good play on this ball.
I mean, I was wondering how that, you were pointing out he was the athlete of the play, but that's fine.
Yeah, that was a really nice play by Miguel Rojas. Unfortunately for him, he was playing shortstop when he started at second base when he made that throw.
Perhaps last chance right here for Jake Bauers to extend his on-base streak and his hitting streak. 22-game on-base streak, 12-game hitting streak, but 0 for 3 today. 30-year-old who's gone from San Diego to Tampa Bay to Cleveland to Seattle to the Yankees, and now in his 3rd season with the Brewers, and so far, by far his best.
I think what he's doing now, so many great hitters have done. Freddie Freeman was this way for so long. You have a strength that's like 2/3 of the plate, and you're willing to give up one side of the plate because pitchers just can't hit that 1/3 of the plate so many times. 2/3 of the plate. So what I mean by that is, if you throw a pitch middle to the middle part of the plate to all the way to the inside part of the plate, he's got a great look at hitting it very hard.
Strike 3 called, catching the outside corner. 2 out. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Geico. It feels good to Geico. Wait, no, keep going on.
Yeah, what I mean is, it's just for a hitter to cover the entire plate is very hard. So rather than that, just stick within your strengths and cover 2/3 of that. I don't know what you think about that, but I always found it complicated when the guy was so locked in on his approach, and if you made a mistake into where he wanted to, he could really hit it hard. But he was sold out on his approach, and he was willing to give you, if you were willing to paint a ball in on him or paint a ball away, he'd give it to you. But other than that, he had a good look at it. That's a tough way to pitch against.
Blake Perkins pinch hitting for Sal Frelick.
Well, with the stuff today, it's almost impossible to cover both sides of the plate. So yes, you have to pick one, and I agree with you. You're super stubborn with it, and you have to be willing to give up a strikeout looking every once in a while. If you're stubborn with it, it can work. Woo.
One and 2 on Perkins. Made it to the majors a few years back after 8 minor league seasons, 4 different organizations. This 1-2 pitch takes outside, count evens up. This lineup dotted with guys like that. We're talking earlier about Jake Bauers and his path. down on the high fastball. A scoreless 8th inning for Tanner Scott. Another scoreless inning for this Dodger bullpen on a record-setting run.
Protecting what you care about is important to you, so it's important to Allstate.
Doors.
Freddie Freeman has got a perfect day. Heads up to the plate in a 7-3 ball game. Got a couple defensive changes. Blake Perkins, after pinch hitting, stays in playing center. Jackson Churio moves over to right, where Frelick has exited the game with Perkins pinch hitting for him. So for Freeman, a double and 3 walks. 3 of the 8 walks the Dodgers have taken today. Jake Woodford stays on. Dodgers got 4 runs in the 4th inning after the Brewers took a 3-0 lead in the 1st. And then insurance coming in the 8th with a 3-run rally for the Dodgers. The series will wrap up tomorrow. At this point, barring a 9th inning rally from Milwaukee, they'll be playing for a series win. These two teams. You got Yoshinobu Yamamoto for the Dodgers, Brandon Sproat for the Brewers. First 3-walk game of the year for Freeman. Now 3-0 count. That's a 4-walk ball game. Dual action sponsored by Roundup, and on a day like this for Brewers pitching, Brewers fans are yearning for Monday and Tuesday when these two guys are going to go with the St. Louis Cardinals coming to town. Jacob Mizorowski and his 1.89 ERA, his 24-inning scoreless streak, and Kyle Harrison, one of the surprise stars in the league this year, started the first 2 games in a big series. Top 2 teams in the division. Strike on Pajes.
If you haven't seen Mizorowski pitch, the Miz, it is something special. 104. I think he's thrown like the top 25 hardest pitches from a starter this year, Joe. The one he threw to Aaron Judge, I think, was like the hardest pitch ever. 103 point something, 104 registered. It is electric stuff.
Big bouncer left side. Hamilton charges, flips the throw over to first. That's an athletic play right there to get Pajes. 1 gone in the 9th inning as Freeman moves up. Different Jacob Mizorowski. And why are we going to cherry pick one of your slow fastballs here to compare with? Verlander threw hard, chasing him.
First of all, I was 41 and 42 years old when they measured that fastball. I did at one time throw harder than that, but I never did throw a ball 104 miles an hour unless it was coming back at me.
I'm told that's every fastball you ever threw.
Stop. Oh, that's ridiculous.
Smith got his first hit his last time, knocked in a run, fouls it back 1-1.
But that is, I mean, it's remarkable because we think about Justin Verlander having one of the greatest fastballs of all time, which he does. And the Miz is, I'm going to keep calling him the Miz.
You look at both
Jacob,
of us like that. Doesn't feel
Jacob has that much more reach on it.
I only have one argument with that graphic that we just showed. Verlander would go 92, 93, and then all of a sudden it was like whack.
Was the first 3.
And you're like, wait, he's been throwing 93 the whole game. Now we're in the 7th, and here comes 98 to 100.
Yeah, the first 3 he would be 90, 92, 93, 94. Then he would be 95, 96, 97, and 6, like 4 through 6, and then 7 through 9. When he was throwing all his no-hitters, he would be like 98 to 101.
Do you think more guys could utilize changing speeds on their fastballs, or is that a special ability to be able to do that?
I think that, that was special. I always thought he should have sat in that middle range at least more. Don't even give him a chance, but he also has almost 300 wins and Cy Youngs and MVPs, so he probably did it the right way.
in Detroit. On the injured list currently. A walk for Smith.
Randall, you said something interesting last inning, and I agree with it, especially when Freddie Freeman has come up. Woodford's trying to be so careful. Just try to be so careful. That sinker just runs off the plate. Whereas when you're facing a lesser hitter that you think in your mind is a lesser hitter, you're more aggressive. And you see this from pitchers, especially against this Dodgers lineup, because they know all the names. Every guy you look at, I know Shohei, I know Mookie, I know Freddie, I know Paz, I know Will Smith, I know Kyle Tucker, I know Teoscar. So just be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, it's so hard when you're out there. The difference in being confident and driving a pitch and just having one thought about executing the pitch instead of I got to be careful here. Usually when you say I've got to be careful here, you don't throw the ball where you want to throw it. You don't throw it with the tenacity that you need to throw it with to get big league hitters out.
No balls and 2 strikes on Kyle Tucker. 2 runs scored in this game. Bounce past the glove of Woodford up the middle to Ortiz for out number 2. Well, your fastball might not have been the fastest, but at least you didn't jump into the former president's lap. On this date 15 years ago, AJ over there just trying to make a play. Watch out, George W. and his wife Laura.
You might be in the Secret Service right now if you lay out right there to block that.
You know what's funny is he sent me a handwritten letter apologizing for not trying to stop me.
How cool is that?
Which was awesome. And also, I later played for the Rangers, so I became friends with the Secret Service guys that were there that night. And they're great. And President Bush was awesome. He came to a ton of Rangers games, but he didn't try to protect his wife. And Nolan Ryan.
He thought you had it.
A little too athletic.
You're the best athlete in the
Flipped
world.
into right center field, a base hit for Hernandez. Throw to the plate, play at the plate, not in time, and a 6 RBI game for Teoscar Hernandez. That'll change your season line in a big way at this stage.
Have a nice Teoscar. Again, though, the 2 walks score. The 2 walks are the things that come around and score. Churio tries to throw him out, makes a really nice throw. Long hop right to Gary Sanchez. Will Smith just beats it, but go to right field and the 2 walks. That's how you extend leads. If you're the Dodgers, this is the Dodgers offense. A 3-run homer, walks, drive them in.
9 runs on 8 hits, 10 walks. That's a season high for both the Dodger offense and the Milwaukee pitching staff.
They went the first, 7 innings, 5 or 6 walks. Only one of them scored, but the last 2 innings, the walks have really hurt him. You see the slide home, though. His foot was off the ground. It made it a lot closer than it actually should have been if he'd have slid like Freddie did earlier.
One of the weird things about baseball is home plate's the only base that's flat. So you see this happen a lot, where people's front foot goes over the base, whereas if you slide into the other bases, there's something to grab onto.
It ended up being a very close play right there. When he gets his foot down, slides over the bag like Freddie did earlier, it's safe by a whole step.
But guys are worried about catching a cleat on home plate and sticking.
Yeah.
So it's a weird. You know, you mentioned we could come up with something to judge the bats and check swings. Maybe we need to come up with like lasers that point them in the sky so they go over it to try not to get someone hurt.
Another walk, my goodness. MLB app has you covered all season long. Get personalized highlights and push notifications just for you. Download the MLB app, the #1 app for live baseball. Brewers top 10 in baseball at not issuing walks. Not their day though.
Tonight has been not a night that'll help those stats. Pat Murphy's saying all these walks are just crushing us right now. They're telling Woodford, you got this, buddy. No one coming in to save you.
These kinds of situations, when the Dodgers get a big lead, would you consider taking a Shohei out and letting him get even if it's just 1 or 2 innings?
Who's the DH?
I mean, just even if it's 1 or 2 at bats, though. Just
No.
no, you're letting him hit.
Yeah.
If he's a DH, especially.
Yeah, if he was playing right field, yes.
Yeah. Which I heard he could at a very high level if that was a thing.
2 outs for Espinal. The Dodgers have been picking their spots to give Ohtani rests. Lately it's been on days that he starts, but they've also had one of those days you're talking about, AJ, the day after he started. And they've tried to line up his start days so they have an off day immediately following, so you get an off day built in there in the schedule. Espinal scorches a base hit to left center field, and the route is on. The Dodgers with double digits. Espinal streaks into second with a double as he scores Hernandez. 4 in the 4th, 3 in the 8th, 3 in the 9th. Kenny, it's 10-3 and I'm out. I'm out of stuff. You always have stuff. What do you got?
Joe, how about Tarek Skubal? Now, we know he is coming back from that new nanoneedle surgery, and it's happening quickly. The question around baseball that is starting to surface with the Detroit Tigers struggling is, will the Tigers trade him? And I've got a team that we're watching tonight that would be an ideal fit if they wanted to do it, and of course, if the Tigers indeed decided.
Hold on, here's a drive down the line. If it's fair, it's gone. Just foul. Go ahead, Ken.
And if the Tigers decided to actually do it, I don't believe they will. I don't believe they're falling out of the race because the AL Central is so weak. But remember in 2008 when the Brewers traded for CC Sabathia? That was a landmark moment in their franchise's history. It helped lift them to their first playoff appearance at that time in 26 years. Imagine if the Brewers could do the same thing with Skubal if indeed he was available. Now, you could argue they need to bat more, but this name, Tarek Skubal, is going to be one we hear a lot about one way or another, health-wise, trade-wise, in the next 2 months or so.
Now that is who I'm talking about. If the Brewers get an ace pitcher like that, and a true number one, back-to-back Cy Young winning pitcher, now you're talking about a guy who can go in and beat anybody else's pitcher. That changes the team for me.
I'd love to see it, but it's not going to happen. I mean, we can dream. An organization can dream, right? Most people would, when he said a team on this field, would have said the Dodgers, not the Brewers. I love Pat Murphy. He would light. He would actually smile if he got Tarek Skubal.
The Dodgers don't need Tarek Skubal. I mean, everyone needs Tarek Skubal. The Dodgers don't need Tarek Skubal. They just need their guys healthy.
Can you imagine having to go Skubal, Miz, Harrison, the way they're throwing? That's pretty good 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Now, would they give up the prospects? But then I fight back with this. Can you name the guys CC Sabathia you got traded for?
Michael Brantley.
Matt Laporta.
I'm impressed.
I am impressed.
But out of those, Michael Brantley was by far the best player in the big leagues.
He was the player to be named later in that trade, I want to say. It was a base hit for Ohtani. And it'll bring home Rojas, 11-3.
That's why you don't pitch in. Show him. Make him happy. Just perfect Ohtani swing. No stride, foot down, barrel to the ball. He's so big and so strong. He's one of the few guys that can hit with no stride.
Betts trying to join the fun. He's 0 for 5. Down to third. Hamilton will make him 0 for 6. But the Dodgers get their second full run into the ball game and lead it by a bunch to the left. Power Players sponsored by Walmart Plus. It's Teoscar Hernandez tonight, who's tied his career high with 6 RBIs. Started with a 3-run home run. Give the Dodgers the lead back in the 4th. But he's had a hand in the other 2 big innings for this offense as well.
Just a nice night. Those are month makers. Nights like this. You can do this, and it's second career 6 RBI game with the Dodgers. That's nice. That's a nice week. That's a nice month, Wayno.
Jonathan Hernandez here. Made his Dodger debut yesterday. His first game in the major leagues in 2 years. He was picked up from the Phillies. He was in AAA. This is one where baseball being an everyday sport is a beautiful thing for Milwaukee. Get to flush this, move ahead, and do it again quickly with a 1 o'clock game tomorrow.
This may be a good thing. They were 9 in a row. They had lost a few games in a row in the postseason. Maybe they flipped the script. Strategery.
Ortiz has 3 walks this weekend, looking for his first hit of the series, though. Off the end of the bat to right, and Kyle Tucker. 1 away in the 9th. Hernandez trying to keep the scoreless streak going for the bullpen. 3 1/3 tonight after Sasaki got through 5. 35 scoreless innings in a row, a new franchise record for the pen.
That really is impressive.
It's amazing.
I think somebody would have made a mistake somewhere along the way.
Bullpen has not allowed a home run this month. Freddie Freeman smothers it at first, and Hernandez to the bag, 2 out. I made sure I gave that comment with the 9-hitter up.
Now
Jinx
here's
proof it. Here comes Churio.
Churio.
And my mic is cutting out, and I gotta go.
Nice play by Freddie Free. Perfect flip.
Gosh, you know Churio's not up there trying to get a little base hit. Down 8. 2 doubles for him the first 2 innings of this ball game. 2 strikeouts since.
Love little things like that. Great leadership by Rojas right there. Just taking time to let his pitcher breathe a little bit, making sure he's got his heart under where it needs to be. That's great veteran leadership right there.
But if the pitchers are the best athletes and they're in the best shape, why do we need to give them a breather?
Because they're so fast. That takes a lot. I mean, that's an explosive movement right there. You're covering. You saw him. He outran the fastest player on the field. You know.
It's time for this one to end, guys. Dodgers going to get their 8th win out of their last 10. It'll improve them to 32-20. Brewers going to fall to 30-19.
You know what's amazing about what you just said, 32-20? Everyone's talking about the Dodgers. Oh, they're not very good. They're 32-20. They're in first place. They haven't played close to what they're can be.
Pretty good.
32 and 20.
And if you multiply out, that's pretty good.
Three and two on Churio. Padres 30 and 20 through 50 games. They just got underway against the A's. And the Cardinals, who start the day 2 games back of the Brewers in the Central, they're tied at 6 in the bottom of the 10th against Cincinnati. Cardinals tied it in the top of the 9th inning with 2 runs. 6-6, bottom 10 in Cincy.
That's game 2 also.
Cardinals winning the first game 8-1. There's the ball game right there. Bullpen keeps on doing it for the Dodgers, and so does Teoscar Hernandez, driving in 6 of the team's 11 runs, and the series is tied up at a game apiece. That'll do it for us in Milwaukee. For Adam Wainwright, AJ Brzezinski, Ken Rosenthal, and our entire Fox crew, Joe Davis saying so long. But the Dodgers win 11-3. Kevin Burkhardt and Dontrell Willis are in studio right after these messages.